She said she keep it fine, I know she said she love me, yeah. I ain't stupid, I'm a savage, best to wise up like a mensch. She been wanna pull up on me, fucking came about to pay. Look, when she used to do that, I pull bags like shorty itching. Now I was finna dump her money, yo, she said she wanna stay. I was about to do it, she know that I've been on her every day. She just on that need some money, I'ma calling up my bank. Look, that's a flex that I'm on a hoes taste, so flex, that's dope. That's dope, like she cashing all my checks. She got it down by the dose and I'm perplexed. She told me, yo, you ain't my baby unless you got the grind. That's right, so flex. That's dope, like she cashing all my checks. She got it down by the dose and I'm perplexed. She told me, yo, you ain't my baby unless you got the grind. That's right, so flex. Way too flame, now come taste this, ay. So much bag, I can't waste this, ay. Peep the chain, now come take this, ay. Way too flame, now come taste this, ay. I said you always feeling down, now you winning. And I ask you if you used to stacking bins, man. That girl changed my mind. I said she want me, but she could do me out, it got me and my family. If you flex, you want it bad, best play all the time. But you know I'm stacking racks here all around. When she ain't all about me, say she be gone. When she step to me, that's no fun at all. So flex, that's dope, like she cashing all my checks. She got it down by the dose and I'm perplexed. She told me, yo, you ain't my baby unless you got the grind. That's right, so flex. That's dope, hey, she cashing all my checks. She got it down by the dose and I'm perplexed. She told me, oh, you ain't my baby unless you got the grind. That's right, so flex. Like I was not enough. See you with him off the cuff. Told you that I would not play. I killed a bitch for less I'm faded. You fucked around and now you know that it's game over for a hoe. I ain't got time for bitches bad. Fuck all the good things that we had. I'm not saying that I'm proud, but I'm burying a bitch. I done everything for you, this is what the fuck you do. Take my pride away, now I'ma take your life away from you. Trust was all that we had, now I'm here taking care of business. When I take out the trash, I bought you jewelry and bags and gave you all of my cash. Now you and boy can fuck up out of here, I'm blasting your ass. I felt like I was not enough. See you with him off the cuff. Told you that I would not play. I killed a bitch for less I'm faded. You fucked around and now you know that it's game over for a hoe. I ain't got time for bitches bad. Fuck all the good things that we had. Oh, don't fuck around, gave up everything for this. Got me pulling out my hair, got my panties in a twist. Look, I'm all up in the news, now I'm famous cause of you. People saying that I'm crazy, but I'm crazy over you. What was worth all of that? Now we laying with you, rest in peace to both of your ass. If I could change what I did, I use a gun, not a bat. Now you and boy took the forever, eat down under the grass. I felt like I was not enough. See you with him off the cuff. Told you that I would not play. I killed a bitch for less I'm faded. You fucked around and now you know that it's game over for a hoe. I ain't not saying that I'm proud, but I'm burying a bitch. I done everything for you, this is what the fuck you do. Take my pride away, now I'ma take your life away from you. Trust was all that we had, now I'm here taking care of business. When I take out the trash, I bought you jewelry and bags and gave you all of my cash. Now you and boy can fuck up out of here, I'm blasting your ass. Felt like I was not enough. Tell me why I gotta end though. Playing with her heart like I was playing a Nintendo. Using her for money and a mule for slinging benzo. She ain't even special, I got 20 in the bando. Tell me why I gotta end though. Playing with her heart like I was playing a Nintendo. Using her for money and a mule for slinging benzo. She ain't even special, I got 20 in the bando. I know it's wrong, but I need this to work. Cause I'm cashing out dirt, she gon' put in the work. I got plenty of baddies who fucking with Kurt. Got them passing out perks, never tryna be Kurt. I took away all her pride, I said she was mine and I make her my bride. I made her work heavy, it's making me cry. I thought making money was all of my life. I changed what I did if I wasn't this rich. I made all this cash off it thanks to this bitch. She should've been cautious and seen all the signs. She ain't going anywhere, one of us dies. Tell me why I gotta end though. Playing with her heart like I was playing a Nintendo. Using her for money and a mule for slinging benzo. She ain't even special, I got 20 in the bando. Tell me why I gotta end though. Playing with her heart like I was playing a Nintendo. Using her for money and a mule for slinging benzo. She ain't even special, I got 20 in the bando. No, I ain't a pimp, no robbing, I'm blind like I'm popping a pimple. Breaking the ice with a bottle of Winslow, making it hot so I open the window. Giving me Arthur Penn, Bonnie and Clyde vibes. We got them tickets, we taking a night ride. Stolen Bugatti, a Smith 45. My bitch is collateral, take her alive. My contrabandista, pills in the keister. Making a whole lot of dough, senorita. Business as always, she walking sideways. She wanted different, but it's gonna be my way. Tell me why I gotta end though. Playing with her heart like I was playing a Nintendo. Using her for money and a mule for slinging benzo. She ain't even special, I got 20 in the bando. Tell me why I gotta end though. Playing with her heart like I was playing a Nintendo. Using her for money and a mule for slinging benzo. She ain't even special, I got 20 in the bando. Ay. Tell me why I gotta end though.
Coming in with Bando, that is Kirk on WPEP Radio. Now, let's start the show.
Who the heck is Pep Talks?
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks.
Who the heck is Pep Talk?
They want our women. They want our children.
Pep Talks.
Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the pep talk. Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist.
Pep Talks.
I'm literally coming. I'm
Pep
literally coming.
Pep Talks.
We found weapons of mass
Pep Talks.
destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.
Indeed. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of High on Politics. We are doing something a little different at the beginning of the show. I needed a little time to get my tea ready. So, yeah, you were listening to Radio PEP. I think that's going to become a regular thing. We're going to have some more music mixed in there, but I always enjoy starting with a little, few Kirk jams. We'll call that the Kirk block, and then eventually we'll have a hang your hate block, and we'll go from there. But as I said, guys, welcome to the show. Hope you guys are having a good day. I am. I'm feeling pretty good. So look at Pep with his introductions and stuff. Hey, got to be professional, right? Keeping it fresh on the pep talks. How you got? As I was just asking, how you guys doing? Chime in here. Let's get the ball rolling, as they do say somewhere. The proverbial ball. Always love those. Anyway, so today's gonna be a little bit chiller than yesterday. Gonna just I have to give you guys a lot of credit, because I think that, number one, thank you for letting me vent and have my, spicy pep takes. I also did do some reevaluation on some of them, and you know what? I might not have been in the... How do I admit this? I might not have been entirely correct, guys. Some of my takes might have been a little wonky. I also did... I realized that there was a moment there. I was listening to Howard Stern today, right? And he was going on about Manhattan. And he's just like, I hate going into Manhattan. It's a cesspool, blah, blah, blah. I always hated going into Manhattan. But then he starts talking about restaurants and how overrated they are. So, yeah. It was kind of funny when he was just like, restaurants are overrated. I never understand why people just go to restaurants and like they get excited about these new restaurants. And by the way, my friend just opened a restaurant in Manhattan and it's to die for, but I still don't understand restaurants. I was like, that sounded like a Pep Talks take. And immediately I was just like, oh, Four Eyes. Oh my, wow. Coming in with that. Whoa. Oh, I'm never going to recover. Oh man. Oh, guys. This troll just came in, said Four Eyes, and oh my god. I don't think I'll ever recover. My eyes, they're poor. I have to have affirming care. Oh no. Well, yeah, you'll be 21. Oh, yeah. Happy early birthday, Zach. And hey, you know what? Thank you for chiming in over on Twitch and saying what you said. Guys, we know that Zach has had some issues going on. I think that if you guys are regulars in chat, and if you're new here, want to explain the situation a little bit, Zach's a good kid. Little out there with everything that he's going through, but if you guys want to know why I have sympathy for him, is because I was a shithead when I was 20 years old. I was a complete shithead. I never had my conservative arc, but I had a conspiracy arc. And I'll just say, you know what? If you're not forgiving and you can't lead them, to the well, then what are we even doing? So, my timeout ends Sunday. Yes, it does. And as I said, as long as you maintain that, you are on super secret probation. So, not so super secret probation. Just behave, man. Because we have you kind of committed 3 strikes within one setting and again, I was living my life. This was you chose the one day where I was out, at a concert having fun, not really paying attention to Discord, and I go to check it. Bands were in between setting up. I had no merch to go get or anything like that. So, yeah, it was, let's check Discord. And I kind of was just like, what is going? It was really funny because my wife just went, are the kids fighting? And I had to take that. I was a shithead when I was younger. I still am, but I was then too. Oh yeah. I'm not saying that I'm less of a shithead, but if I was held to the standards that I held, if I was held to the standards of the belief system that I held when I was 20, that's not cool, because I have become an entirely different person. Zach, Pep is a good guy. I'm sure you can see that now. I try my best. I'm not by no means perfect, trust me. As you guys probably, I said some shit yesterday. I said some shit. I need to go back and listen to one specific segment, because I was like, how out of pocket was I? We'll see. Pep is still a shithead. He just reduced it from 100% to 87%. Hey! That's a good percentage, right? Laws of averages. But I've been doing research. I realize how extremely strong traits of ASPD or narcissism. Yeah, I'd almost go ASPD. You got a little bit of narcissistic tendency, but the fact that you are looking into this tells me more you're more curious. So narcissism would just be like, no, there is nothing wrong with me. What are you talking about? Everybody else is the problem. How could I ever be the issue? Come on. Howdy. How's it going, Anna? Hope you're having a good day. I am in a good mood because I got to visit the wife today over at the hospital. She will be coming home, hopefully tomorrow. Fingers crossed. But yeah, she's in good spirits. It was kind of funny. She has been there long enough to where all the nurses know her, and she has like this weird repertoire with them where I was just like, this is kind of funny to watch. Still at work, not on cam right now. Might have to go at any second though. Okay. Well, I will keep this for theater of the mind, considering that I have a lot of viewers that tend to listen, audio only, which is perfectly fine, guys. So, speaking of theater of the mind, there was this situation at the hospital where there was a stain. Didn't exactly know what it was. It was a trailing stain too, and it was in one of the common areas. I had to narc. I had to say something. I was just, there was nobody attached to said trail, but I was just like, hey, there's some possible excrement. I used the term excrement, by the way. I was trying to sound professional, I was like, I'm pretty sure that there is, excrement in this common area. And it's like it's almost like somebody stepped in it and kind of went shick, like kind of just like, dragging their foot with it was messed up. Not as bad as what happened at the hospital yesterday, where I saw some old lady ass that it's never leaving my mind. I just don't understand. It was definitely poo. It was definitely poo. I don't think that somebody just dropped some chocolate cake and was just like, oh no, here, let's just scoot that. Hospitals are, they be wildin'. Poo trailers are almost as common as chemtrails now. Oh my god, I should have taken a picture and sent it to Honeybee. Oh, dude. Wow, throwback. She hasn't been on. I think that she might have quit streaming, which, terrible timing. We were like this close to doing a collab stream. We kept going back and forth, and then the one time that we set it up, she requested that we did like a recording instead because she didn't want to deal with chat, which I was going to acclimate to that, but then, canceled. And never returned. The power of the pep talks. It compels the... Or, wait, no, it doesn't compel the... It's the opposite of compelling. Anyway, enough shitting on myself here. Wait, what are you guys saying? So did you get diagnosed? No, I don't think you did. Kirk is a cool guy, no cap. Huh. He is. That's why I enjoy him. I know that sometimes people don't understand Kirk. I know that sometimes people have even come in here and then gone, oh my god, you have somebody that's a right-winger in chat, and then he plays some shenanigans because, he likes to be an enigma, which, whatever. Let him be him. He gives us the music to use. That's it. That's the only reason I care. No, guys, come on. Everybody, you should know by now what's up with this channel. You know that I try. I want to have good conversations here. After talking to the Angry Ginger too, like, it really inspired me to just continue to do that, where I'm like, yeah, you know what? We got to keep open and just be cool. Hey, Bloodstone's here at the exact time that I was looking to do so. Uh-oh. This is not working. Let's see. We're good. Cheers, guys. Happy time zone. Man, still getting over that cough. I'm feeling much better today, though. Oh, man. So, News. What's in the news? The Fed Fed lowered the interest rate 0.25 points. So this will be good for, lenders and the consumer for a small bit, but this is mostly going to benefit like the upper middle class. Because unfortunately, prices aren't coming down. The inflation index is still increasing. And then we have the tariff stuff that's added to it. I'll also speak anecdotally. When I was at the grocery store the other day, egg prices they're at Biden level egg prices, and nobody's saying shit. Like, what is going on where like, I understand what's going on with the news and Charlie Kirk and all this, but where are the people that cared about this? Where are the people that really care about the price of everything? It's insane. The price of everything is fucked. Unless they're not going bare minimum, which means that this isn't hitting them as hard. That's kind of what's also starting to bother me, where the class traders are the one, like, it sucks when you have people that are already class traders, but then you see them thriving, or they're thriving. They're fine. Well, I guess that's thriving. What am I talking about? But still, like, it gets a little annoying. Pint of dry beans are so expensive now. Everything is, dude, things that were like 25 cents or $1. What's a quarter now it takes a quarter to buy a nickel's worth. If you guys haven't seen the movie Network and seen the whole speech, that was kind of what got me into, like, it kind of radicalized me a little bit, because I heard that speech on Zeitgeist, which I'm not sure how many people of my age watched that specific documentary and were just like, that changed my life, bro. Because it kind of did, especially for like an impressionable, ex-Christian. Well, I wasn't ex-Christian at that point. Zeitgeist kind of helped me realize even more, where I was just like, holy shit, there's a bunch of history that I never learned. And then it all came tumbling down, just like the stock market right now. You would think that with a 0.25, rate drop, that the stock market might have responded well to that. Nope. Anything that could be seen as remotely good for the consumer, even though I do know that also wasn't what they were expecting. But yeah, anything that's good for the consumer, it just kills the market shares, right? Hey, we have, we got one person that hasn't hit that like button yet. What's going on with that? Come on. I thought I had you guys nice and trained here. Listen, I'm in the South and we're poor down here. I'm just starting to ask for Great Depression receipts. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Get real big into sourdough and, get big into the Depression era kind of food. Because that's probably what we're going to be eating. I think my wife likes cream of wheat. I have a feeling that that's just like going to be a thing. I'm being hyperbolic now, but we'll see. Anyway. Oh, geez. I just realized that my multi-stream wasn't on again. Sorry about that. Also, why is the music not really working? Give me one sec. I gotta reset this. There we go. We're good. I'm hoping that we can ride this one out, though. Power is not a means, but an end. You don't achieve dictatorship to guarantee revolution. You make revolution to achieve dictatorship. The end of persecution and the end of persecution is persecution. The goal of torture is torture. The goal of power is power. Yeah. Tragic Mammal, to that point, I actually tried to... I took this from Sam Cedar. This was not an original Pep Talks thought, but Sam Cedar had a great point about how no matter who, if you claim to be anti-establishment and you're fighting the establishment and you want to become the establishment, at some point you have to recognize that you're becoming the establishment, and then you are now it. I was like, oh, simple but true. That was Orwell, not me. Oh, well. That makes sense. Money is good at the moment, in my opinion, other than dumbass traffic tickets. Oh, for you, your personal... See, again, dude, your personal finances, like... This is why I try to, like, speak to it as saying, like, this is completely anecdotal to me. Somebody even tried to say, it's like, yeah, because you live in a area, because I was mentioning some prices. Again, $6 eggs. But yes, I live in a freaking metropolis, so... Unfortunately, things were already more expensive here, which I've always hated. I hate the city tax, which we just need to acknowledge that this is a thing where I think this is pretty much everywhere. Like, the closer that you live to a city, the more expensive everything is. Traffic tickets are expensive. No, you know what's expensive? Medical bills. We just got another wave, by the way. I'm going to have to change that number. Is that a lot? $6 for a dozen? Yes, for a dozen eggs. Are you fucking kidding me? A dozen eggs used to be $1. And this was like a year ago. And all of a sudden the bird flu thing happened and we got very used to saying, oh, $4 for a dozen eggs, that's not bad, because your brain is just like, well, yeah, you know, it's not affecting me all that much. And the government's subsidizing the restaurant industry as far as like offsetting the cost for them. That's why your omelet at like a restaurant or like McDonald's Egg McMuffins aren't like, you know, $10. Which, it's insane that they would do that anyway, because it's even, all right, $6, so that's a 50-cent egg. Yeah, come on. Used to be able to buy eggs at the Golden Goose for $6. Well, yeah. Mother Goose used to be cheaper. You're right. Wait, Mother Goose, Golden Goose? No, it was a totally different nursery rhyme. I ruined it. I like that, but dictatorship being necessary and revolution I don't agree with, because I've read theory that states community councils will be made prior to revolution, so that the councils and coalitions that are democratically elected will make decisions and can be voted out basically at any time. Yeah, that's where it should theoretically stop, but for some reason it always, like, they always want a figurehead. Again, for some reason... Humans, this is a human thing. This isn't an American thing. Like, this is literally the human condition of just being like, we want this ultimate leader type of shit. You know, that's why we look to history the way that we do. It's weird. Like, I've always thought that was weird. Yeah. If it's a figurehead revolution, you're fucked. And that's what MAGA, unfortunately, they're seeing that now. Think of, like, how we were just listening to this yesterday, where IHIP was even saying how when he's gone, they're fucked. The cult of personality is built around him. So there's no one to pick up the pieces there. They could keep trying to, you know, get behind JD Vance, but then, you know, once they start, like, doing anything, like, if they were to push half of the Project 2025 agenda without Trump, nobody would be on board with it. Nobody. Even with all the talking points that they're saying. It's the fact that people in the MAGA sphere are so, like, you know, it's the sunken cost thing, where they're just, like, they're so invested in it that they just won't leave based on the fact that Trump is who he is, you know, cult of personality. It's kind of weird, man. But it's also, like, I understand it to a degree, where I'm like, oh, like, I personally don't get, like, I don't get the mindset, but I see the patterns, and I'm just like, okay. You know, it's kind of like I've always said with the whole hockey theory and, like, captains and coaches and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I just opened up DoorDash, Winn-Dixie, and orders 2 weeks of groceries. Don't pay attention to the prices because I don't need to. See, but that's kind of the point. Actually, people, like, that mentality is part of the problem. Is too many of the upper middle class and, like, even, and then all the way up, they think like that. You don't understand how much of, like, that's not how the average American family works at all. You know, like, most people have to budget, and it, unfortunately, Americans are also very poor at budgeting. You know, I've seen this with, like, my most ardent left-wing friends, where, I don't know, man. I've talked about this before. I had a debate where my friend was trying to say how budgeting is technically playing into some right-wing thought process. I was just like, wait, excuse me? What? and they were just like, yeah, ruined it, but 50% chance of who you might be able to figure out who it is. Yeah, what the fuck? No, for real. That was one of the dumbest arguments I've ever had, where I was just like, so you just spend willy-nilly, and he's also just like, well, I also tried to do, like, get bare minimum, bro. Oh, that's who it was. That's who it was. I think that was, now that I think about it, I think that might have been Duke. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Whatever. I get it, though. Like, I understand the mentality there where you're just like, yeah, I'll work for what I want. I need only so much, which some people are very okay with that. There's always the joke about, or like the meme out there, where men will just have a cardboard box with a TV and a video game system in a cooler. It's like, yeah, because honestly, sometimes that's all you need to be happy. Duke went off on you for saying boycotts don't work. Dude was a bit much. Oh, yeah. You know what? Fuck it. It's been long enough. Don't think he's coming back. He straight up just went off on me and told me how I'm not only, like... He was the one who was saying, like, I'm not cut out for this. He was just saying how, you're not smart enough for this. You are almost doing more damage by, like, playing into this kind of crap. I was just like, wow. Cool, man. All right. A bit much. Yes, indeed. Whatever. If he wants to fight, like, he wants to go fight the good fight, have fun, man. I want to fight the good fight while also enjoying a community of people and having a little bit of a good time, because that also, like, he tried to say that shit too, where you need to, and, it got to me. And I have to be honest about that. Duke came off to me as privileged. Yeah. Yeah, it tends to be that way. I've had a few arguments with people in my real life about this too, where it's just like, oh, okay, man, but you've like never, like, because they're always talking about like, well, this is what I do to overcome, or like to not give into such system. I'm like, wait a minute, but I happen to know that you have your parents like paying your rent. That's how that worked. Like, that's why you're comfortable. It's like, hold on, man. I don't mean to talk shit. I just don't like it when people act like he did. No. That's why I'm not. If I'm talking shit, then I'm talking shit. But yeah, no. If somebody's gonna come at me like that, also as an entertainer, like, whatever. It's good to break the stuff apart for learning. That's kind of the thing. Is he also didn't let me have that, which that's what turned me off. Honestly, this is why me and Anna are friends. Anna came at me in I think it was Michael Brooks's Discord, and we were having a conversation, and we had a disagreement about something, and I just said, the way that you're attacking me, like, I'm genuinely trying to learn here, but you're attacking me for not knowing this, and it was TMBS. Man, I'm so glad that that's what brought us together. Anna, like, that's a legit, like, hell yeah. That is probably one of the sickest Discords out there. Man, I'm so good at promoting other people's stuff. No, I loved how, like, that felt like the MR Discord Outcast group, but it was also, like, cooler. It was just so, like, you want to talk about actually, like, having free speech or, like, having an open discussion. That's what I really enjoyed about that. And I respected the fact that is keeping in the vein of Michael. Like, Michael was so much more open about that kind of stuff. Maybe it's because it's also a little bit of a smaller server, but it was, like, to my point is we had a disagreement, and through that disagreement, we became friends, and you also understood where I'm at. Like, I'm not coming at any of this like, oh my god, theory, oh my god, learning, oh, anti-academia, whoa, hey, hold on. It's like, no, I just admit that I'm a bit of a stoner, a bit of a layman. I'm just, I'm learning with everybody else, and yes, I didn't take like poli-sci or any of this kind of stuff. So and this is going back through the original, what used to be the script on this one. It's like, I don't have a poli-sci degree. I didn't go to, well, I technically went to college, but Just for, random bullshit. Wait, Kirk is right wing. I am right wing. Both of our birthdays are on a Tuesday. Right wing because we are Libras. I guess. I don't think so, but okay. I also like. I think that Kirk, can I just ask if you're still in chat, have your politics evolved at all? I hate to make this a little serious, but I would appreciate like a real answer. Like, have you had anything? Have I changed your mind? That was a joke. Oh, what? Yeah, I just thought about that. The whole Libra being its month, whatever. I didn't know that crap really. I just know that I'm a Sagittarius, which I always thought was kind of cool. Like, as far as all the symbols, I was just like, hey, I got a centaur with an arrow, bow and arrow. That's pretty badass. Could actually like make a character. You're Sagittarius, then that's why we're friends. Oh, actually, I have. All right, the little bit that I do know that as far as like Sagittarii, yeah, apparently we're one of the groups that like we can be friends with each other. I think it was Scorpios or something where it's like you put a Scorpio and a Scorpio in the same room and it's just like half my birth chart is Sag. Nice. No one likes Aries. Hey, you watch your mouth. My wife is an Aries. You watch your mouth, mister. My wife is an Aries and she. Oh, actually, I just realized. I needed to text her when I went live. Shoot. I'm gonna be in trouble. Oh man. Oops. There. She should be joining us in a moment if he's not too tired, because I do know that she was finally getting some sustenance and getting a workout and all that. I'm a skeptic, so I never went for that stuff. Yeah, again, because of my Christianity, I was always told that, like, we can have fun with it. Like, it was just kind of like the same thing with Christmas, ironically, where my school, strangely enough, did acknowledge the pagan traditions that we took. So they were just like, yeah, it's kind of like the, she doesn't have notifications turned on for it. I think she does, but my YouTube notifications don't always go out. It's always like 50-50. I mean, I've noticed that with my own stuff, as far as like my own consumption diet. My consumption diet. My heart is with her and Kenny Omega. I mean, they literally have like the same shit. It's crazy. But yeah, no, she or like I've had my notifications on for Majority Report since, the beginning, and they very rarely come through. So, if I do have ASPD, I would most likely never change my shitty worldview. I guess but that's where you could just be narcissistic, or I don't know, man. You could just have a little bit of a prickly personality because you're not really seeing like the happiness that you could enjoy, or I don't know. I actually get every single live notification for you. I do? You do? No shit. Not your other videos though. Interesting. Yeah, it's always random for me too. What you doing? Just scared me with Snorlax there. I was like, whoa, Snorlax is moving. I don't know. Remember what he did in Discord? Yes, I do. I do remember. He's on, again, we have discussed the super secret probation. It is a thing. Antisocial. That does, yeah. That plays a little bit of a role. I can see that. Wait, Pep is the CEO of Steam. Wait, CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit have been called to testify in front of Congress? Ooh, uh-oh. Interesting. Just straight face feeling. That tells me, actually, that could be. I'm dead serious about this. Excuse me. Did you ever have like a severe head injury? Ah, there she is. Let's see. There we go. No? Then yeah, that could be like a yeah. I don't know, that could be Asperger's then. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know too much. Like, I know enough to just be like, okay, well, that sounds like this a little bit, but I'm not, again, I'm not, don't take everything I'm saying at face value and go get diagnosed, please. Anhedonia. Wait, can head injuries mess with your emotions? Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They can also, like, do some really crazy stuff where, like, I've seen a head injury where all of a sudden, like, somebody just has the ability to learn things instantly. I just watched a documentary on that. You do have Asperger's, high-functioning autism. That explains a little bit. Sorry, they were putting in my IV line, and I get to take it home with me. What a souvenir. Yeah. Well, at least you got that cool big cup. There's a very cool big cup that she got. She's such a trooper about it. She's like, I'm gonna just put some stickers on it. It's gonna deck it out. Yeah, everybody say hello to Unimoogle. She is in the chat. I can now finally announce. Alright, let's see what's up. Yes, your hospital Stanley. I have a friend that fell off a car and developed narcolepsy in high school. See? Hey. Yeah. Dude, narcolepsy. I knew a girl with narcolepsy. It didn't work the way that I thought it would. You know, it's definitely not like the movies. Like, what was it? The narcoleptic Argentinian from Moulin Rouge. I always thought that character was hilarious. Let's do the thing where I bring up the news. Yo, the first thing I thought was those texts look scripted. They do! Like, it really does. After Reading. I'm on fire today. Yeah. After reading those, I was kind of like, huh. That seems like somebody was writing that, like a like a script, but yeah. Let's not do it because people are going to start accusing me of going full Infowars.com. I have a friend. That was the blonde kid named Luke, the Arcadian. Oh, yeah. I met him once or twice. Nothing would help with being diagnosed. Oh, you have this X. Let me put you on SSRI to make you crazy. Oh, no. Because, again, dude, everything, it is kind of consent-based. So, like, here, if they even try to do that, like, here's how I've always approached those types of medications is try it. Just try it. If you have an adverse reaction, and the thing is, you have to acknowledge trial periods because some medications do have, you know, adverse stuff like at the beginning, but cheap streamer. Sorry. I got distracted by this little... Why is... First technical difficulty of the day. YouTube doesn't want to give me this link. SSRIs made me crazy before. They just kept upping the dose. SSTRI doesn't make you crazy unless you overdo it after having adverse effects. Lexapro, for example, most likely will raise your anxiety. Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one, I had other stuff, though. Like, they put me on that when they thought I had something entirely different. I got misdiagnosed with clinical depression when I was a teenager. It just turned out I had very high anxiety. Like, a lot of anxiety. Yeah, if you have adverse effects, you shouldn't be taking more. You should stop instantly. That's what my psychiatrist told me. Yes. Yeah, where were you where they were doing this? Yeah, you had a really bad doctor. Like, again, American healthcare. There it is. Like, my wife has been lucky to be in a pretty decent situation, well, past the emergency room. American healthcare, like, especially emergency rooms, there's no forgiving it. Everybody, if anybody who isn't radicalized enough to start thinking like, hey, healthcare should change, I'm thinking that they haven't had, they've never had anything like happen to them. I called Zach out on this because he was talking about like how, oh, you know, we shouldn't have to subsidize these people. I'm healthy, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Until a car accident happens or you fall on the job, like there's just so much, and your brain is not trained to always expect that kind of stuff. Like, that's where my anxiety came from. I was always expecting that type of stuff. So it took me 10 different types of SSRIs to find one that works. Yeah, dude. In therapy and psychiatry. Yeah, you have to put in the work. You have to want to get better. That is a big thing. And I've also had, unfortunately, you know, addicts in my life where specifically one we had to just kind of cut off because it was like where you don't want to get better and we're all killing ourselves watching you kill yourself. And it was, I just remember my grandma at the time just saying like, you know, this is why I've always lived by the moniker, never try to help somebody that does not want to help themselves. And I was just like, I always looked at that as being so finite and being like, well, you know, some people can't. And I don't know, man. No, they have to want it. And I do agree with that now that I have aged. Fall on the job is workers' comp. Yeah, not always. Not always. It depends. They will always try to figure out if you were liable. I had, actually, a friend of a friend just had his arm crushed at work. He works in construction and he was like operating some heavy piece of machinery and it crushed his arm. So, yeah. I need to get the update on that. I'm not sure if he actually had to have it amputated or not. I had an old spine injury start playing up last week. Had to call an ambulance. I went through 2 green puffers on the way to the hospital. It was doses of fent. Jesus. Want free healthcare in New Zealand? Again, free healthcare. Wow. You know, see, this is the reason that we don't do this is because we think that you don't know what your insurance is going to cover. Number one, that's the worst part about this. It is anxiety inducing because they don't bill you as you go. So you can't just be like, hold on, how much is that? Am I going like what is this? And now we're just playing the game of wait and see. Although this one, because we had an ER visit, that was the one where I was just like, oh, thank you for that. The little thing they handed me on the way out. It was just fun times. A real friend will help you when you don't want it. Yeah. I've had to do that. Therapy and psychiatrists are expensive. I'm not going to waste my money and be poor living my life on meds again. Well, yeah. I don't know, man. It might balance you in a way that you might be happy with. A little concerned about that. Speaking of guys with one arm, I watched Starship Troopers one arm. So it's a funny movie. Well, okay, so yes, there's the other bits where, yeah, they try to turn you into a zombie. I have seen that, and unfortunately, I have had a bad doctor that being a zombie was like their level of baseline and like saying that you were healthy. So I don't know. I won't play this game where every doctor is like great and yeah. But that's what sucks about him, where he may have had one really bad experience that like kind of radicalized him the other way with healthcare, where he's just like, he doesn't trust it at all, which is not unheard of, especially in America. So much fun. Sounds like they were trying to treat a condition that holds other conditions by treating the symptoms and not getting to the cause. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was almost going symptom by symptom. It also depends on if you were seeing the same therapist through it. Because I've also had good and bad therapists. Dude, I had a therapist that, like, pretty much just through their callousness and treating me like I was just a number, that made me almost not trust therapy. So, that's where I get it. But I put that behind me, realized that, you know what, it's one bad person doesn't equal the entire profession, and yeah. Gave me a lot of help, man. So, I was suspended from school almost every day, got suspended for a year and put on probation. Jeez, dude. You were the kid that the principal just like, they didn't even have to hear your last name. They're just like, we know who you're talking about. Like, Zach, no more. You don't need to say anymore. Say no more. My sleep anxiety, ADHD, and anger are calmed by 2 meds I take. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like, somebody else said it in chat here that they were on a different, like, on a regiment that they, that they had to go through like 10 different medications to even get there. So, turned out a lot of my, a lot of issues I have are nervous system. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's actually where we have kind of figured out that, you know, there's also gut issues too that can cause weird psychological shit. So yeah, diet is important for mental health. Eating enough proteins and drinking the liquids to help dopamine levels. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, good timing. Everything I have, every time I've gone to therapy, she has turned out to be wildly attractive, and it always turns into the plot of a porn movie every damn time. Where you're just, well, that is unhealthy to sexualize your therapist. I had a therapist growing up, had him for years, for like 10 or 15 minutes. 15 he left. And another one got close to 2 months, and she left. Yeah, so you get abandonment issues. I understand that. I actually understand that one. Especially if you're going through it. Oof, that really sucks, and I can see how that would deter you. Yeah. No. I get that, because that's creating an abandonment issue. You're starting to give people trust, and therapists, there's an intimacy level there that is like, you need to acknowledge that, because you're telling your deepest, darkest thoughts and everything to this person, and then you don't have them to even acknowledge you, or like, and then they just kind of ship you off like you're, again, like a number. That shit will fuck with you. And again, it will create a sense of abandonment. I'm speaking from experience. You know what? I had that happen where I had a good therapist where it kind of hit that point where he was retiring. And he kept trying to convince me, like, we're at this point in treatment where you would be graduating anyway. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I didn't know if I could trust that. So I could have totally You know, if he wasn't retiring, I would have taken that and gone like, yeah, cool. But the fact that he was retiring at the exact same time, it made me constantly question like, oh, am I actually good? Or did he just want to get the fuck out and he needed to clear his patient schedule? Alcohol is a downer? Yes, it is. It really is. You need, like, yeah, don't go to alcohol for that kind of stuff. Like, don't go, don't. What is it? Don't go chasing waterfalls. Oh, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was court mandated therapy for the second therapist. Okay, so I can admit that I play this game a little bit. When I'm in therapy and like I'm in the waiting room, it is kind of funny to watch the dudes that come in and you're playing the game of like, is this court mandated or not? And the one time recently where I was just like, this guy, he's got to be court mandated. He kept coming into therapy with like a worker, like one of those bright yellow vests. I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't want to judge, but then he's just like, okay, so when do I have to turn this into the judge? And I just kind of like, so hey, you put that out there, buddy. Have you heard of Dr. K on YouTube? He runs a channel called Healthy Gamer GG. Cool dude, lots of good advice. I'll check him out. No, I have not. What's her Uni? What's the one that we watch? I keep forgetting her name. Crap. She is a certified she's a certified therapist, but she also is like, yeah, do not use this in your, like, to diagnose yourself. But, you know, we all kind of do this thing where we listen to her and then we're just like, hey, that sounds like me. You helped me with, in my journey of seeking care. Well, and that's the thing. What's her name? Crap. I know that if I go through my subscription list, I'm not going to be able to find it because I subscribed to her so long ago. I might not even be subscribed anymore. I thought this was therapy, Pep Talks. Oh, no. No, I am not a therapist. If I help you guys in a therapeutic manner, then I'm happy to essentially just be like the spa version of the, like, here, stop in, chill at the spa. But this is, yes, it is before you go into the fight and into the actual, like, hard work. Bad example. I forgot that not all of you guys were, you know, hockey players. Oh my god, I got to do it. Just a real quick, like, stun lock here. I did this hockey training program that was really cool because it was run kind of like the way they would do it for pros, and that was cool because they had like a sauna and like the spa and like the sports treatment area where you could get your joints stretched like for you pre. It wasn't even for games. This was like for, again, like it was a 4-hour practice, so. But it was cool. I loved that. I can see, again, where's Legend of Sean when you need him? Because I had a Sean where it was just like, I get a massage therapist? No way. That was cool. Also getting IV liquids, that was kind of cool too. That was the first time I ever had that outside of a hospital. But before I turn into Bert Kreischer, because he's like really, I was watching something recently where it was one of those comedy hit things that, like, hit pieces, well, not hit pieces, but, you know, one of those channels that is super critical of comedians. And they were talking about Bert Kreischer being on his tour. And he's sitting on a couch with, I think, Mark Norman, but a few other comedians. And he's just talking about how he's like, yeah, they wouldn't let me have another IV. You know, I told her to go fuck herself. And it's just like, well, yeah, she's a medical professional. And you actually do need, like, medical professionals to administer those types of IVs. Like, I think it's by law in certain states, if not all states. He was yelling at her about it. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, this is just another thing that I feel Bert is just becoming more and more out of touch, and that's the biggest criticism of most of these comedians. It's just like how out of touch they are. Oh, great. Another reminder. Crackamico. What about Zach? Wait, what about Zach? Wait, is there something up with Zach Amico? He's one of the, I can say this. He's one of the few guys that I've met and hung out with, and he was a solid ass dude. So I hope that he's not on anything like that. It's just every time that I see that he's still part of the he's a juggalo and all that, I'm like, oh no. I'll definitely not be in here on Tuesday. I'm going to be forgetting the day, going to an old restaurant I worked at, getting effed up and with a... Oh, okay. Well, again, enjoy your birthday. That's fine. That's why I'm saying happy birthday, but be safe. Epstein flow. Oh, yeah, you know what? I have a few Epstein story bits that we need to get to as well. But before we do that, let's take a look at what this means. So there's 2 more cuts this year. Here, let's get this boring economic stuff out of the way. Almost all everyman comedians have an expiration date. They slowly get more and more out of touch the richer they get. Yeah. Well, I don't know, because there's a few of these guys. Like, again, Soder has not done that. Bill Burr, even though with the Saudi thing, I disagree with it, but he's still, he's the king of the everyman that has that kind of money now. Yeah, I gotta say, the 2 Bears, 1 Cave podcast is unlistenable. Gotta go? Well, I'm glad that you got to hang out for the first hour, Anna. I will catch you later. Hopefully you can, show back up when your plane lands and we can, pack your bags again and get you on another flight. Still one of my favorite analogies that you came in here with. Alrighty. Like I said, let's get to this boring little bit here, and then we'll move on to some of the, the sexy stories. Also learned a lot through the teaching of Kundalini. Oh, nice. The way they explain the body somehow makes sense to my brain. It's just a way to reference psychology, but with coating of mysticism. Yeah. You know what? It's the same thing with meditation. 2 Bears, 1 Grave. Makes raps about Rogan's fear. Oh, wait. Crack Amico. I'm assuming that's a different... That's not Zach Amico, and he's doing it as a... Okay. Because I was about to say, why would he try to burn his bridge with the Rogan sphere? He seems like the type that would definitely not want to do that. But who knows now? I am surprised by a few of the guys that are coming out and just shitting on the Rogan sphere as much as they do. Like, Shane Gillis, man. He's making it rough for Rogan to just ignore the fact that he constantly goes out there shitting on him. Driving most of the time for work and being alone, I get inside my head, it's rough. Yeah, well, this is why I understand why you're part of this community and why you check out podcasts in general, but if it can help you be a little less in your head, then that's always a good thing. This is why I always listened to long-form radio shows. This is why the Howard Stern Show, I could always bank on it for being 4 to 5 hours, depending, of solid entertainment, and just you could literally set your day by it. So it's like when you knew you were at work and you didn't necessarily want to think about stuff like that, then yeah, you would do that. I got really big into audiobooks after Howard started doing his vacationing and all that kind of stuff, and then also had Opie and Anthony. I had a bonfire time. I used to listen to radio pretty much all day. But that diet has changed. Actually, Fire Fist, I think that we had a discussion about streaming, and I hate to admit it, but I was not that that jazzed on the concept of streaming. Early in the pandemic, I kind of, I hate to admit, might have been shitting on it a little bit. Just like, oh, look at these kids. This'll never really. This isn't the way to do it. These people won't make enough money. Blah blah blah, blurdy blur, and this. Yeah, I used to say how it doesn't have longevity and how like at post-COVID it was gonna disappear. I remember even thinking during the summer, I'm like, oh yeah, during the summer. Yeah, that was a shitty way of thinking, and I adjusted that. So I admit that I was wrong. Streaming is pretty freaking awesome, and it lends like to see the independence that it does come from this, and like the fact that it's like so many small creators. You know, I wanted to be a VTuber. It's okay to shame me. Oh, and I think that's what it was. I remember now. You were asking if I had an Xbox cam. I was like, for what? I remember now. Okay, maybe VTubing. Okay, hold on. I'm starting to remember a little bit of the context now, because I think it was a VTuber that you originally showed me. I was like, what is this? And then I found, I think that's right around the time that I found Vosh, where I was just like, because Vosh was really the first streamer that I was like, what is this what streaming is? And then I was like, oh, I'm finding myself being entertained by this. And then through Vosh, I kind of found Hassan, because I didn't really have, much exposure to that kind of stuff. So the pipeline, the DGG pipeline. I hate to even admit that was probably it, but oh my god, because they were still talking about like the DGG community and fun times. But then I watched a Hippy Dippy podcast, the Hippy Dippy podcast, and I was like, okay. I usually hate panel shows where people talk over each other, but for some reason, that didn't annoy me because it was so off the cuff, where I was like, interesting. I just realized that Dylan, without him having the style that he has for moderation, that was the only reason that worked. As somebody who has been part of something where it's not, moderated in a very fair way, I'm not talking about modern day debate, by the way. I hope that nobody, Ryan did a good job. He kind of went out of his way to make sure that I didn't get the same treatment that most left-wing guests get on that kind of stuff. So I got to give credit where credit's due there. Although on that channel, sometimes, especially with the guy who runs, I forget, oh my god. Sorry, I know his name. Oh my god, what is his name? He's James. James is a really nice guy, and but every once in a while I'll be watching a debate. It's like, come on, dude. This is the part that bothers me, is you let your bias take over, and you start having your own opinions about what one of the guests said, and it's like, you needed Arnold in there. I want this to be a good, clean debate. Otherwise, I'm going to come and choke you out. All right, that went from Arnold to Jean-Claude Van Damme. Listen, I'm going to do the splits. Then I'm going to punch you right in your pink silk underwears. God, I love how every time that I lean like that, my chair does the little... I didn't know Vosh did politics when he was first recommended to me, because he was playing Resident Evil at the time, and then one day he streamed about the news. I was a little surprised. Oh, really? Yeah, see, that was kind of the thing. I forgot what game he was playing. Oh, it was... I remember what game he was playing. It was Super Mario Sunshine. He was playing Super Mario Sunshine, and that's when I kind of realized, I was like, I like this. I like the way that this is just different, types of content. I like the news, and I like the way that he... will sprinkle his opinions in here, but it's not always necessarily about one thing. I appreciate that, but I also did feel like I was learning at the same time. God, I hate to admit this, but I don't think I wouldn't have looked into most communist theory without listening to him. because he would always have those debates, and I would feel stupid. It's just like, you don't know what deontology is? You don't know what deontology is? It's like, well, I don't, so I'm gonna go make sure that I do. So if you ever, like, I don't know, and for some theoretical reason, were to ever ask me, do you know what deontology is? It's like, I want to know. Oh, just Vosh is what I was talking about. I'm pretty similar to Zach. I don't really talk to my coworkers. I have a roommate. I have the stream and people on Discord. Oh yeah, sorry. I never moved off of that. But then yes, I also like to wrap this one up since I'm going through my like lore with like finding streaming and all that. Started getting into the different communities that kind of orbited Vosh. Like that's how I found Xanderhall and like Demon Mama. And then watched them kind of fall off, specifically Demon Mama. And then watched Vosh do the same thing, and it's funny how your content kind of just shifts like that. That's why I also don't take like necessarily it too hard when people have to move on, because I get it. Like, you know, content diet it's a real thing, and sometimes you guys find it like the Howard Stern or like you know, if you guys are long-term listeners and viewers, hell yeah, that's my, those are the ones that, you know, you're the real ones. But I also don't begrudge people that only come here for a few minutes. I was just explaining this. So I know what my average is. My average, is, as far as like my viewership through my streams, is pretty good. I'm on the upper end there. The average is around 4 to 5 minutes. I am well above that average. So pretty happy about that, at least. Somehow, some way, I think I'm making compelling content. So compelling, indeed, that I completely stun-locked and forgot that I was about to talk about the interest rates. Let's go! Federal cuts. Federal Reserve cuts rates by a quarter point. Yes. Let's get this. Here, ask me for money real quick. I know that's what you're going to do. Right? Where is it? Now I have anxiety, guys. Where's the pop-up? I hit AP. There's always a pop-up. Where is it? Finish loading whatever you're doing. Come on. Where is it? Because I don't want to even start reading this, because you're going to do the thing where it's just like, can you donate to the AP? By the way, we're going to take up the whole screen. Yay. There it is. Fuck yeah, I'm good at that. All right. The Federal Reserve is cut its key interest rate by a quarter point on Wednesday and projected it would do so twice more this year as concern grows at the central bank about the health of the nation's labor market. The move is the Fed's first cut since December, and it lowered its short-term rate to about 4.1%, down from 4.3%. Federal officials, led by Jerome Powell, had to keep their rate unchanged this year as they evaluate the impact of tariffs, higher immigration enforcement, and other Trump administration policies on inflation and the economy. Immigration enforcement's a big one. Again, like, people are sitting here wondering why they can't find workers now. Like, I've been seeing this pop up in some of the local groups where they're just like, does anybody have a teenager that wants to come and work during the day? It's like, oh, so you just kind of realized that this whole labor market thing was a real thing, huh? How immigrants actually kind of are a net benefit. Yet the central bank's focus has shifted quickly from inflation, which remains modestly above its 2% target, to jobs, as hiring has grounded nearly to a halt in recent months. Yeah, this 2% target thing, though, this is where we need to start pushing back on the corporate greed, because if we've been just kind of coasting on the inflation thing and continually having that explained for the reason that the prices are still high, like, it's the cake and eat it too thing, which, again, never understood that. Just think about that real quick before I go on too much of a stun lock. The cake and eat it too. So does that mean that you're ordering a cake and then you get a little side piece of cake so you can eat the cake and then stare at the cake because it's a beautiful cake? I kind of get that. So maybe I do want my cake and eat it too. Lower interest rates could reduce borrowing costs for mortgages, car loans, and business loans, and boost growth and hiring. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen. As we know, Fed officials have signaled that they expect to reduce their key rate twice more this year, but once in 2026. For the meeting, investors on Wall Street had projected 5 cuts for the rest of this year, and that's why stocks were not good. Stocks wavered a bit, but as Powell took questions from reporters, just one federal policymaker dissented from the decision. Stephen Mirian, who President Trump appointed and was confirmed by the Senate in a rush vote late Monday, just hours before the meeting began. Mirian preferred a larger half-point cut, but Powell told reporters that there wasn't very much support for the bigger size cut among federal officials. Again, this is how stupid he knows actually his bases, where they're gonna just hear like, "Oh, Donald Trump cut it half a point. He brought down the prices." Stuff, kinda, not really. Oh wait, not at all. Damn it. Many economists have forecasted whether there would be additional dissents, and the meeting's outcome suggests that Powell was able to patch together a show of unity from a committee that includes Marion and 2 other Trump appointees from his first term, as well as the Fed Governor Lisa Cook, whom Trump seeks to fire. Still, there were still significant differences among the 19 officials on the Fed's rate-setting committee about where the Fed should go next. 7 policymakers indicated that they don't support any further cuts, while 2 supported just 1 more cut and 10 favored at least 2 more cuts. One official, like Marion, indicated that they would support several large cuts to bring the Fed's interest rates to 2.9 by the year's end, from 4. I mean, Fed officials submit their forecast to the future rate moves unanimously. There are no risk-free paths, Powell said. It's not incredibly obvious what to do. So, like I was saying, this could have good impacts on us. Problem is the prices of everything that they're talking about, cars, houses, and all this stuff, is still so high that even with like the borrowing costs, like against the amounts that they're trying to borrow, like that's part of the problem here. We need to lower those prices. Those prices are not high because of the fucking interest rates. And I think that a lot of realtors and people in the housing market and landlords, instead of renters, they're all kind of lobbying to just be like, no, hold on, because this is only going to really benefit them too in the long haul. Fun times. I like cake. What's up, Etch? How you doing? In a much better mood than yesterday, so I hope you're doing well. Welcome to stream. Let me get my good stretch out. Oh yeah. Woo. Alrighty, and I want to smoke with y'all on this one. We got East Coast. Woo woo. We don't really get to do East Coast too often. I always forget. Oh, did you read what I said? It's an answer to have your cake and eat it too. Oh no, I didn't. Hold on. Pep doesn't talk his sex life on stream. No, I don't. Who's asking? No. I'm an open book, except for that. Woo! Okay. Wait. Where's the thing about the cake? I just started watching. Please promise you aren't some pervert or something. Oh, Shield. No. What? Were you burned by Vosh or something? No. I'm very vanilla and just there's certain parts of my life that I like to keep private. That'd be one of them. Although I have let a few things slip. Just gonna say. Lauren chat. Pep doesn't really talk about sex life. It's because you eat the cake, you no longer have the cake. It's about holding two mutually exclusive beliefs at once. Right. But then I solved this where you order an extra piece of cake and then you can stare at the cake. So technically, two cakes. Burned by too many YouTubers. I get that. No, I get it. I feel the same. We were just talking about Vosh. I'm not gonna make this a referendum or like a show about him, but I will just say that it sucked. It was so disappointing. Where you're just like, oh, come on, dude. And then he does the double down, where he's just like, so what? This is what I'm into. Blah blah blah. Like, I don't know. There's a bridge too far. Maybe it's because I'm just like, no, dude, no. But yeah. I could no longer be a regular viewer where I'll watch his occasional videos to get his takes on certain things because yes, he does still have interesting opinions, but realistically, as far as like a personality, it was very disappointing. Then you have a different cake. Well, I mean, okay, now we're at this might be semantical, but what if it's the same type of... Oh, wait. It is still technically a different cake. All right, fine. All right, you win this. He was an idiot for that, too. If you do that stuff, have a separate PC or something. Like, yeah, what happened with Vosh? Oh, he had an unfortunate prawn folder that he opened on his main screen, which was then... it not only divided his community, it was a pretty big deal, man, because he had some pretty sick shit on there. Like, really sick shit. If you do a do not say for work at all, keep it from your stream PC. Thank you for the advice. I have a good boy PC and a naughty boy PC. A naughty boy PC and a good PC. My naughty boy PC's a bit crusty for reasons I won't unveil. Who has a prod? I know. That's actually a really good question. It's just like, wait a minute, isn't Vosh technically Gen Z? What's he doing? As humans, we are very forgetful. You want to set yourself up to not have those kinds of accidents. Oh, you fucking deviants out here, Jesus! I swear. One of my favorite things was somebody just kind of like threatening that kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, well, what if you got hacked and like they unveiled your folders? I'm like, they have about 4 gigabytes of outtakes from when I first started my channel, which I want to watch those with you guys anyway. So if they release those, I'd just be like, oh, hey, okay. Also, I got lots of thumbnails, of just, for my YouTube channel and few games. As I said, I'm very boring. Did no one learn the lesson from Dark Side Phil? I don't know. See, now that one, I don't know. What's the lore on that guy? In a very condensed version. I know someone that does that. They don't care if you life, you know. My grandma gave me one piece of good advice: the 6 P's prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I like that. Hey, you know what? I'm not sure if your granny's still with us, but if you need to, just shout out Sylvie's granny for having a solid piece of info there. I like that. He accidentally streamed himself. What? Oh my god! Oh, wasn't wow. That wait, did oh my god, so he was still on stream? That's fucking funny. Okay. Oh my god, could you imagine somebody donating just to be like, dude, cling, and then he hears it and just oh. Okay. I never really thought about it, but I guess that would be a thing that would happen just to, like, statistically with streamers. You know? Fuck, that's funny though. He just clicks off. He's just like, and see you guys. All right, where's my... It instinctively says, thanks for the dono. Does it... Here's the thing, do you finish? I mean, at that point... I was like, did he just go sploot and he just it was an excited just oh my god. Oh man. That is wildly funny. Oh, gross but hilarious. Oh man. Anyway, back to news, I guess. That's what kind of show I run here, folks. Yeah, that's a bad case of oh my god, just a oh no, he probably had the dirty hand where he like ew. Oh god, that had to just... Do you think he went back through chats? Like, do you think he would just like he had to scroll through his chat? Just when did, because he probably just went, when did I start? Okay, man, I wasn't prepared for this, but this is funny. Oh, damn it! I need to blow my nose. Oh man. Next stream. If you guys stayed till the end of last stream, you would have seen my sneak peek of my debut on OnlyFans. Excited. Oh yeah, excited to preview for you gamers. I mean, okay, in all seriousness, that would be a way to almost save it. You know? Almost. Cause there's without that, it's as embarrassing as it is. Like, it's just, oh no, what did I do? What did he get banned? Wait. I need the answers on this one. Did he get banned? What happened with his audience? And I don't want to, I'm not looking up any of this lore. I just want this from Shield here, since you know. He became White Hand Phil that day. White Hand Phil. Ew. I still can't get over just the fucking the dono sound. Hey, thanks for the donation. Oh fuck. That is, as I said, wildly funny. By the way, guys, if you have just joined us for the stream, welcome. Hope you guys are having a good time. Oh, what the hell? Yo, there was just a real bad glitch on YouTube. Specifically on YouTube Studio. That was really weird. It just glitched out my viewers. Huh. Whatever. Stream's still good, right? Like, okay, yeah, we're good. I don't know why I did that. That doesn't help anything. I gotta check my notifications. There we go. Yeah. Fine. We're fine. We're good. Let's get back. I did kind of want more on this. I'm not sure. I hope that you're not typing. It's like, but dude, that is what. So did this person have like a big audience? That's crazy. That's just something you don't recover from. All right, let's check in with our favorite aunties. They got something to say about the text messages. Here, let's speed them up.
After sleeping on the text exchange released by the prosecutors, you guys, I just want to say I'm calling bullshit on it. I do not think these are legit, and I'm not alone. There are bipartisan calls right now.
This all happened a while ago. I got to look up the facts again.
That what the
I'll let you do that.
prosecutors received from the FBI is total bullshit. It's not making sense. Put this up, Kylie. I am still okay, my love. Now, I have a 22-year-old son. He doesn't speak this way. A little while longer yet is another quote from the letter. Till we died of old age. He used grab my unseen.
I don't know, man. Mormons say some weird shit. Did you know, what is that thing? Where it's like they have sex through a sheet or whatever.
Bit over a week. And then he refers to a squad car. He uses the phrase circle back. He refers to his car as a vehicle. This is just, there's something
weird.
Incredibly fishy about this. I do not trust Kash Patel's FBI. He's a conspiracy theorist. Dan Bongino is a conspiracy theorist. They had podcasts where they trash talked the FBI for 4 years, which was their audition to get this job. Their number one thing is that they are Trump loyalists. I'm just not buying that this kid texted, ever since the election, my dad's been hardcore MAGA. If he and this roommate were in a romantic relationship, why do you have to say that? That would be assumed. Why are you giving all these details about changing clothes? I'm just telling you guys, it stinks to high heaven. I'm not buying it. I don't trust anything that this administration puts out. They immediately, here's one of the main reasons as well, aside from knowing that 22-year-olds don't text like this. One of the main reasons is immediately after Charlie Kirk's murder, there was a organized.
Yeah. All right. I gotta say something. I'm not even trying to play devil's advocate here in any way, shape, or form, but my mom does not know or did not know how I would have texted, a romantic partner in any way, shape, or form. I definitely texted my mom a little bit differently.
Coordinated.
So I'm not sure if that's the point that she thinks it is.
Messaging attack on the right, that this was left-wing ideology, that these were leftists that did this. And then within 12 hours, it had swollen into left-wing transgender terror cells. That's what, before they even had this guy. And here's another tell in this letter, in the text exchange. He says, the roommate allegedly says, I thought they caught the guy. And then Robinson responds, that was some old crazy dude. So let me get this straight. You're worried about the rifle that you reassembled while you're changing clothes and you're texting all these details to your roommate, but you're also logged into your phone analyzing and you know that some guy was picked up and then released. I don't know that I even knew that at that time. And I'm not trying to allegedly stash a murder weapon. I'm calling bullshit. I don't believe this for a second.
I agree with you. It's too convenient, given what you said. The immediate narrative was it was a leftist trans person, but he didn't fit the narrative. White, Christian, MAGA,
Mormon.
It did not fit their narrative, and that's never stopped Donald
Well, not MAGA.
Trump
Why do they keep saying that?
from lying or corruption before. So why should it now?
And moving along,
Family was MAGA.
I want to highlight this tweet from Hassan Piker. He says, half the right thinks the messages are fake because it doesn't implicate the trans person. So there's a bunch of people
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about that.
that believe that this is wrong because the messages provide cover for the alleged trans roommate. The other half think the shooter is a patsy because it was Israel that killed Charlie Kirk. Hassan, a leftist, says, I will say the text messages are too perfectly plugging holes for the investigators and unnatural. And what I'm seeing here in Hassan's tweet, you guys, is bizarre bipartisan support. And to fight this fascist regime, it's going to require this. It is going to require people on the far right that have these podcasts and people on the far left to save our Constitution and our First Amendment. And this is the exact same thing that all of these bots and the administration are trying to prevent us from doing. Let's hear from Matt Walsh what he says about this. This is a far right anti-trans nut job. I am leaning very strongly towards the theory that this text exchange was scripted as a way to absolve the boyfriend. So his big thing is he's anti-trans. It's almost exactly what Walter White did at the end of Breaking Bad. This feels like a strategy they cooked up from watching too much TV. So this is the far right anti-trans movement. He's calling bullshit on it. Hassan Piker's calling bullshit on it. Jennifer and Pumps are calling bullshit on it. I'm calling bullshit. Next up, we have Steve Bannon of the War Room. He's not buying it. Play the clip.
As it's presented in Utah, I'm not buying all of it. I'm particularly not buying those text messages. It just seems too stilted, too much like a script, actually a bad script.
We've always said that this administration is incompetent, and this is the highlight of this incompetence. But what's so sad about this is incredibly dangerous. This is a wild time to live in the United States, and they have eroded the institution so much that within 9 months, I don't believe an effing word coming out of the FBI. Not one word, because Cash Money Patel is blindly loyal to the cult leader. And then behind the cult leader, you've got the failed drag queen, smoky eye sociopath, Little Smokey. And then it gets even darker. You get to Palantir, you get Elon Musk, you get to these very dark forces. There are people on the far right that see this. They see that people that are more powerful.
He was got to distract from the Epstein files. Everyone around him knew because they won't say no to the dirty Cheeto.
With more money, with more nefarious intents than Matt Walsh and Steve Bannon. They see that they are sucking up to Trump, and they have the bank account that Trump is impressed with. And so there is a very weird time right now where we all need to focus on, because I believe we're at a precipice. I believe it's going to take some level of bipartisan voices to save this democracy. And I'm starting to see that this could possibly happen, because if the right wing is calling bullshit on the FBI that they wanted to take over, this is a window that we cannot close the door on. Here's Candace Owens. She's from the Israel camp.
Messages are clearly doctored, is what I would say. They're doctored. Now, they could decide why they're doing that. Tyler's being forthcoming. We're protecting him in some capacity. I find that to be unacceptable. Okay? Unacceptable. I want every single text message. I want timestamps. It is conspicuous that you are not telling us when this was sent, because it sounds like it's when the campus is on lockdown and he's got to go back and he's got to clean up. And then all of a sudden we're in the next day when his dad is getting clued in after the picture has been released. They're not telling us that. Okay. And you have a right to be a little bit uncomfortable about that, because I'm a lot of bit uncomfortable about that. We need full answers.
Okay, so you have exactly what Hassan said. More of her clip, she goes into thinking that this is a false flag from Israel, that the Israelis are all over it. You have the
people like Candace Owens didn't know. His wife and staff knew for sure. I'm just
trans people, the Matt Walsh, that think that
the more that I am seeing this stuff, the more that I really have analyzed her video.
It was.
I mean, this time we should watch it.
Their whole narrative the last few days have been that it is a trans terror cell that was activated. The sleeper cells of trans people, which, if you know trans people, you know they're just trying to live and not draw attention to themselves because everybody's so fucking mean to them. And so then I think the truth is this. I think you have an incompetent completely incompetent and corrupt FBI that's 1000% beholden to Kanks. And they are desperate to make this narrative fit that this is left wing because they want to erode civil rights. And here's why they want to do it. Kanks is tapped out, you guys. He's working on retrofitting his private plane that was a gift from Qatar. He's working on his ballroom. He's redecorating the Oval Office. He has this new patio club that he's opened up. He didn't give a shit about all this stuff. But Lil Smokey is there, chomping at the bit, perched and ready to pounce on this presidency. He has no riz. He cannot keep the cult together. So they need to have all of the power consolidated in the executive before Kanks, who is like 80, 90 years old. Biology is going to catch up with him. Another thing that's
they are riding that narrative hard, and I got to say, hey, keep going.
Interesting.
Keep going.
Ruth Ben-Ghiat has talked about how when the dictator starts showing signs of weakness health-wise, the cult starts eroding. So keep an eye on that. We have the bruised hands that are covered up. We have the swollen ankles. We have the clear dementia that this man that we're seeing that he sometimes doesn't know what's.
They also made a good point about him just not caring, like the having the porch club, having the ballroom, all that stuff. I just want it to be Mar-a-Lago because I want to have all the people love me and all the gold
going on. A lot of the time doesn't know.
He really is just turning into Goldfinger.
Yeah. And so you see these other actors around him putting things into place. And I think that this is a time that this is so dangerous because these
I just made the most 2000s joke right there.
Right-wing podcasters exist because of shit talking, trash talking. Is it crazy? Is it insane? Yes, but this is a free country. It is. We exist over here. We try earnestly our best to report facts and then our opinions on those facts. And I'm not accepting this shit as facts. And here's another tweet of some libs analyzing or leftists analyzing this. I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I have a really hard time believing in a short text exchange. The alleged shooter.
Oh, gold member. Oh, right.
Makes his confession. Confirms
I forgot Goldfinger's the actual one. Can we just acknowledge that was okay?
Location of the weapon. Confirms the type of the weapon. Confirms it was wrapped in a towel. Confirms
that's a gold member.
His motive. Exonerates the decoy, George Zinn. That's what I think too. He exonerates that guy. Admits to the bullet engraving. So he even says in this text exchange, remember when I was engraving on the bullets? Like he's covering up too many holes. This is not somebody who's on the run trying to get away with murder. Remember my dad's super MAGA. Remember when I spend all my spare time engraving bullets that I'm later going to use for a murder? He confirms the wardrobe change. He confirms how long he's been planning it. Discloses the existence and location of a now destroyed, pre-written confession note. Randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is a diehard MAGA, as if he wouldn't already know given the nature of their relationship, and is worried about his dad/grandpa being upset if he doesn't come home with the rifle. Not the fact that he just used it to commit a murder. Not to mention a 22-year-old terminally online Zoomer using phrases like squad car, drop point, swept the area, my vehicle, till I died of
I forgot that was a thing.
Old age. My old man. I'm not buying it. I think this is complete and total bullshit. I think this is the exact FBI that Trump wanted. He wanted to destroy the enemy from within. He campaigned on it. One of the enemies from within was a FBI department that I believe tried to be truthful and find facts. And he put two dipshit podcasters in charge of the FBI. I'm calling bullshit from top to bottom on this whole thing.
Two things have stuck out to me about this whole thing. In terms of that tweet, the written confession that has disappeared, that to me spells cover up a mile away. Because if it was, I am a trans person that inscribed bullets against Donald Trump, it would be wall-to-wall coverage on every news station.
Yeah, but that's a little too on the nose.
And I also look at
even for them, they're just like, well, we can't do that.
This, and I think, here's the FBI. The most obvious answer cannot be the true one because it does not fit the narrative that Donald Trump and the right wants, exactly for the reasons you mentioned. They refused to allow this to be a kid that was too online, that got radicalized, that goes right down the data, 75% right-wing extremism. They do not want to do that and entertain that because it doesn't fit their narrative. So this whole thing, like you said, this is a prosecution's dream.
I'm glad to hear that there's that everybody's kind of on board with this now.
Never does the defendant confess to everything in a text message.
This is a defense lawyer's dream because they have just released all of this evidence and tainted a jury pool.
Dude, Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
And I'm just going to say this.
Good pickup.
Does this kid, does he get a good lawyer? Does he make it out of prison? Now they're already saying he's on suicide watch. We knew what happened to Jeffrey Epstein under Trump's care. I question everything about this. And I always go back to immediately after Charlie Kirk was murdered, there was a
Everybody's on
coordinated
conspiracy brain. Cool.
across
All right.
podcasters from the government to politicians, a coordinated within an hour or two, blaming the entire thing on this imaginary left-wing transgender terror cell, because they know that's the one thing. You have the entire country falling apart. This man is pulling underwater on immigration. That was his big thing. This man is underwater on everything. I don't trust any information coming out about this whatsoever. And here's why. I put up the post. Ron Filipkowski tweeted this.
Oh my God, this guy is the biggest fucking dork.
With no words. And
who bought? If anybody bought this dude's merch, you should be ashamed of yourself.
For the listener, this is Kash Patel, who spells his name K.
All right, to put a button on DSP, this happened in 2016. You can only see his face. Don't think he got banned, but okay, back to regular scheduled programming.
$H. And here he is in a
That's almost worse. It's just,
camouflage skull
Oh my God.
with a Santa hat. This is the guy that's running the FBI. This is it. This is it. This is a wholly unqualified conspiracy theorist podcaster running the FBI. I don't believe any of it. And within my doubts, there are doubts on the far right, the people that I played here. I feel that we are in such a dangerous, dangerous time. We did an episode a couple of days ago discussing Stephen Miller's plans. Everybody's heard what Pam Bondi.
I wasn't planning on watching all this, but I think we only got like a minute left. Yeah.
He's been saying. Everybody's heard what Little Smokey's been saying. Everybody knows what Donald Trump's been saying. We're at a time where if we are going to save this country, we are going to have to unite with people that we agree about the First Amendment with to save it. And that's going to be having some very strange bedfellows. But at the end of the day, we are all Americans. And
that's kind of my thing. If I play like the full thing, then yeah.
Interesting to me that all of these foreign bots, and one other thing.
Give them a view if you can.
That I just have to say before we sign off. Do you remember during the press conferences, they said they were working with foreign intelligence? That was really interesting. Yeah. So I plan to do more research on that so that I
mean, dude, there were enough slip-ups there. I'm glad that you brought that up because there was I got to find that video where the guy was bringing up how when Kash said that was a major slip up.
I'm completely red on that, but I just think this stinks to high heaven. I'm calling bullshit, complete, total, utter bullshit on all of it. I don't buy a word of it. All right, we'll be back later with more news. We'll see.
Swear. And that's the segment of I've Had It, our favorite aunties. Okay, so I have a video to show how, like, in contrast, just how base they are, because David Pakman, I'm not sure what the hell happened with this one, but you want to see how he's kind of doing his, like, Anna Kasparian arc, like, even deeper now. I'm not sure if Chorus, like, pulled his funding or what's going on, but this is insane. I watched this kind of by accident because it was a video after a video. And I got halfway through it where I was just like, oh, I've got to play this on stream because the shit coming out of this guy's mouth it's wild how he's pivoted this quickly. And I really do think that it's from the Chorus stuff where everybody turned on him and now he's, salty Susan about it.
Welcome to the show. Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old alleged murderer of Charlie Kirk, has been charged. We're going to hear the charges in a moment.
This just came out a few hours ago. So this isn't one of those things where it was just like, oh, he released this before, there was a theory about this being kind of a conspiracy or like like this was kind of messed up.
The death penalty. We also have had a release of text messages that many people, for different reasons, are saying they don't believe these text messages were really written by Tyler Robinson. We're going to get to that in a moment. We start with Jeff Gray, the Utah County District Attorney, outlining what the criminal charges are.
I am charged
there we go.
with bringing justice for those who harmed for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously.
Not performative at all, guys.
Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated
Okay, why? Like, I get this, and I don't really care.
murder.
Because somebody was trying to be like, "Oh, are you guys gonna Luigi this guy?" I'm like, no, I don't
A
give a fuck.
capital offense for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony.
Sorry.
The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting.
Okay, we get it. You're gonna stack counts. Like, you already did the life sentence. Like, this performative bullshit where they're just like, he's gonna get 800 years because he could secretly be a vampire. We just don't actually know. We never want to take that chance that he might be immortal.
4, obstruction of justice.
Could you imagine that? That should just be a movie where they accidentally like give a guy like multiple life sentences and he keeps serving them through like year after year.
Justice.
He gets out after his 800 years and then he walks out of prison and it's the prison that was keeping him alive and he just dies.
A third-degree a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts.
We need to get to the end of
Count
this.
6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing.
All right.
Here we go.
I think you get the point. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, charged with murder, could get the death penalty if convicted. I am against the death penalty even in this case. I don't believe that we are well served by the state saying, well,
Gerard Butler would be the lead in that for in 2020 or 2012.
You did the
Good
horrible
poll.
thing of killing someone. Well, now we're going to kill you. I also happen to think it's a worse and more severe punishment for him to have to sit in prison if convicted for the rest of his life rather than just turning the lights out. That's my view. Now, the 2 enhancements were mentioned because the crimes were committed close to or in front of children, and because this crime was carried out
What is with him?
based on Charlie Kirk's political beliefs. Then we get to the text messages.
Yeah, here it is.
The alleged shooter is accused of sending texts to his partner / roommate, and this is part of the narrative that is still being put together here, confessing. And there was reportedly a note hidden in which the suspect said he believed he was going to have a chance to kill Charlie Kirk when Kirk came to town, and that he was going to take that chance. He wrote in the note that he spent more than a week planning this killing. He wrote in a text about Kirk to his partner, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Now, despite a lot of speculation, and this is one of the main aspects of the speculation right now, the prosecutor did not answer questions about whether it was Charlie Kirk's anti-transgender views that were specifically the catalyst for Robinson wanting to target him. And that is so much is being built up upon that in the sense that the right believes if it was
He looks visibly like depressed. What is? Did that chorus shit really break his channel that bad?
Charlie Kirk's views on
What is going
transgender
on?
that were the impetus for
You know,
Robinson seeking him out. then this proves it is a quote.
Everybody's starting to find the evidence being too convenient. Like this one, I think that this was it. Like with all of the ways that MAGA is already incompetent, and I'm talking specifically about the politicians and the people that run this country right now, like Kash Patel, they really are overconfident in their ability to pull this shit off. So funny enough, like they're just that bad where I think that they're like with Kash Patel making multiple admissions and fucking up as bad as he did, where he was just like, we got the guy. Oh, and we also got some text messages. We found this note that might have been on fire, but then we found the messages, so it wasn't on fire. Like he said some fucking weird shit where everybody, like even on the right wing, was just like, huh? And I've been seeing this coming out a little bit from MAGA, where they're just like, guys, is he trans or not? Like they're getting mad at the fact that it's like the information is so inconsistent because they're just like, wait. So you're telling me I've been saying that it's a trans shooter like for the past few days to these damn libs, and it turns out that it wasn't? Huh.
Left
the sloppiest false flags. Oh my God, this administration can't do anything right. That's what I mean. I don't even have to do the Alex Jones like it's a conspiracy. It's like, yeah, it was an obvious conspiracy because look at it. Look at how bad they are at this. Even the governor's just like, you want me to say what now? Okay, I'll try and sell this. He has that kind of energy, just like, huh?
Instance of violence. Whereas some on the left believe that if the reason that Robinson hated Kirk was a different political issue, then it would not be a left.
Miss it when you used to talk faster.
We're going to get back to that. There's an interesting situation as of yesterday with Robinson's lawyer, which was that no lawyer was listed on the court docket as of yesterday, which is unusual. And when reporters went to the family and said, who's representing him? What's the situation with a lawyer? They, as of yesterday, did not comment. Now we get to some of the texts that Robinson sent, I guess, after the murder. Quote, I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but
there's one vehicle lingering.
There's one vehicle lingering. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on.
Vehicle.
I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Later he texted, I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Also asked his roommate to delete the texts, which plays a role.
Yeah, see, so we're watching David Pakman take this at face value.
In those allegations of witness tampering. Missing from any of this.
Unless he pulls a swerve here, because he does, he
conspicuously is motive.
Now,
there are a lot of conspiracy theories that are flowing from this. Tomorrow or on the Friday show, I want to delve into the question of, is everything a conspiracy? And one of the things we have to contend with is that some of the conspiracy theorists are the usual suspects.
Oh my God. Wow. Now oh my God, he's doing the thing. He's running interference, or not even interference. He's just, oh, is everything a conspiracy? It's like, dude, this one's an obvious one. What the fuck?
It's the people who have conspiracies about everything. Candace Owens.
Pakman is paid to take it at face value.
None of this, and doesn't believe the story. She also believes that the white.
He's still very dumb for taking that money. Like,
of the French
he didn't need it.
President is biologically male, and she believes,
like, the fact that he has lost so much of his audience in that way.
All sorts of conspiracy theories.
I'm still shocked that he has over 3 million subscribers, though. He has 3.31 million subscribers.
We start to see that it is the same people.
But seeing his comments makes me think it's like, I don't know, man.
Who always believe they are being lied to. The official story is bogus. Alex Jones believes.
If I didn't know about the recent bot purging, though, yeah, I would think that his account was mostly bots.
That we can't trust the official story.
They recently purged him.
And Alex Jones believes conspiracy theories.
You would see a difference
about almost everything. So we're going to get to this question of, like, if everything is a conspiracy, is nothing a conspiracy, or how do we even sort of exist? But I do find the one part that to me is conspicuous is that although it's been said by the Utah governor, Spencer Cox, and others, this was a left-wing individual, and that may well be true. I will be the first to tell you.
Most people are too lazy to unfollow.
I don't care.
You know what? I need to go through my my subscription list, because I think I'm still subscribed to, like, Illuminati.
Motivations in the sense of they are disgusting and disgraceful and condemnable no matter what they were. Whether this guy was angry with Charlie Kirk because of
Dolly
Charlie Kirk's views
effing
on
Parton.
transgender, or whether this guy was angry with Charlie Kirk because of Charlie Kirk's views on taxes, or it doesn't matter. This is a deplorable action regardless. But it is interesting that the texts don't reflect a left-wing ideology. Spencer Cox, although he said this is an individual who was pulled to the political left, didn't actually present any information about that. And so that's just a curiosity. It doesn't mean it's true or it's not true, but it's just sort of like at this point in time, wouldn't we have some information that was able to sort of point us in one direction or another? But there is no shortage of people who are saying these texts simply don't sound like they were written by a 22-year-old. The timeline doesn't make sense. We're not being given clear information as to which of these messages were sent before versus after. We're going to delve into that over the next 48 hours. Tyler Robinson charged, text messages released. Every time you Google your...
If you're still celebrating that win, then I think you're a bot. Because honestly, who the fuck is coming in the middle of 2025 going, we won, icing on the cake, and everything is like, yeah, but everything sucks. That's not exactly the fucking flex you think it is, dude. Most Americans are acknowledging that, like, dude, shit's bad. Just not good. Just not good. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? Oh, well, I mean, I don't glorify. I really don't. I'm not going to glorify his killing like that. It's still fucked up, man. Even if it was intelligence or if this was, at taking it at face value. It's like, no. Like, the fact that the way he got, all of it, it's no. Turn that frown upside down with pep talks. Hey. Just a reminder, guys. This can be worn. Fuck it. You guys want to see me wear this during serious segments and more. You guys can get the Pep Hat experience by getting us to $100 for the daily dono goal, and then I will wear this silly thing a little bit better for the duration of stream. Well, until it gets itchy, and then I have to take a break. But yeah, I'll put it back on. Just being honest. And then also, for spicy takes. For spicy takes, I will. This one doesn't cost anything. I just put these up. But yes, that's what the Pepaganda. That is the Pepaganda hat. I should just probably say the pepper hat, but. We have fun here. And now, speaking of us having fun here, where did that go? Here it is. Will not let his sacrifice be forgotten. True martyr. I mean, people are using him for that, but you know what's funny? I called this, though. After this weekend, it is starting to die down. The news is even getting a little bored with it. And once the mainstream media starts moving on and going on to different stories and just kind of going on with, the next daily outrageous thing, because even Pam Bondi's fucking shit from yesterday, they're moving on from that because apparently Pam Bondi isn't very popular with anybody in America. Like 91% of Americans think Pam Bondi's a dumbass and oversteps and she's not qualified for her position because she keeps the First Amendment one that pissed off a lot of just rank and file Republicans, but MAGA too, where they were just like, no, dude, you just said hate speech is going to be prosecuted. What about us? And then she said on both sides of the aisle, they're like, no, we're all right with that. We're good. I mean, technically that means you're going to arrest Nancy Mace for saying the T word, right? See what you did there? Also the fact that, yeah, free speech, that is protected under free speech. I had this argument with an idiot recently. I think her name was Esmeralda, because I remember even being like, really? I was not expecting to have this argument with somebody named Esmeralda. Always makes me think of the Hunchback. But yeah, she was going on about how hate speech isn't protected. It's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, hate crimes are not, and hate crimes can be determined by hate speech, but you are fucking certifiably stupid. Are you smart? I do not consider myself to be the smartest person. I'm always learning. I'm curious. And, you know, if I get set on something, that's how you should know that it's like, no, I'm at least comfortable enough to be like, oh, yeah, that's how this is. So that means you should all take it. That's when you should just know. You should know it's true from Pep Talks. Only real can recognize real then, I guess. Well, as real as you get there, brother. My shaved head, I look like I would have... Shaved heads don't necessarily mean that, but again, if you're saying that you have that look about you, I don't know, man. It sounds like you're fitting in pretty good with the, Floridians. You just need to go find yourself like a swamp trailer park where it's just like, they'll be like, hey, you're one of us. Sorry, that was pretty, that was mean. Actually, I can't say too much about this, damn it. I can say this. There was a situation where I went and I had to go to one of those places where I was just like, what in the hillbilly heaven? Holy shit. They had a fan boat. They had their own fan boat. That should tell you about where I was in, I think it's called the Glades. It was weird. And they kept saying, they're just like, make sure there's no gators there. It's just like, where? Everywhere. Always look for, like, keep an eye on your feet. It's like, I don't want to be here. What's worse, living in a swamp trailer or a room full of Funko Pops as an adult? I do not have a room full of Funko Pops. Hey, Funko Pops are for me. I don't give a shit. Are you one of those people that doesn't like people enjoying things? Like nerdy things? And you're just like, oh, look at this child. He has his toys and blurdy, blurdy, blur. I can tell you right now, you're not exactly popular in that opinion. Like, there's an entire industry that's held together by many dudes that are just like, nah, man, I always wanted to spend my money on some stupid shit. Well, here's my stupid shit. I got told I looked like a Japanese samurai a few times. Man bun with how my hair was before, and then I shaved my head. That's why you shaved your head? Oh, did you do like the loose updo with the like top knot? I do that occasionally. Like when I'm cooking, I'll do that. I'll take a picture of that. I'll get Uni to take a picture of when I am cooking Labubu. Labubus are whatever. Labubus, I don't get those. I finally I hit that point as a collector where I'm like, oh, I'm old now. Cool. I don't get it. That is a hallway. Thank you. I'm currently enjoying things. Oh, wait. Enjoying things? Like, enjoying the show, or you're enjoying how things are going? It's like, dude, the world is, like, on fire all around, is according to everybody on the internet and news, and even people out, out in my everyday life. People are fucking on edge. You want a pink Labubu? Of course you do. Fine. I guess ugh. Don't. I swear Funko Pop hate is a psyop from people that spend $600 per figure. I think so. Because, yeah, Funko Pops are fun. I like Funkos. Like, dude, where else are you going to get it? Wait a minute. Hold on. There's one specific one. Here. Where is it? What the fuck else you gonna get? Lil Sweet. Had to go find that. Now I'm like, okay, please don't fall. They have all the outfits like that for them. It's like a bag charms stuff. What's Lil Sweet? You don't know. Wait a minute. You don't know. It's the sweet one. Like, what? The Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper commercials? Where, like, Lil Sweet would just be like, hey, it's Lil Sweet. Lil Sweet. You know what you need? A Diet Dr. Pepper. It's the sweet one. Man, I really, this is a byproduct of when you smoke a little bit too much, and then see a commercial, and then it just hits you like, that's hilarious. I don't know. They were pretty funny. I got into the puppy monkey baby thing until like other dudes ruined it, where like I would start hearing like these, you know, Call of Duty playing fucking chuds that are just, you know, calling each other puppy monkey baby. I'm like, you ruined it. Damn it. Sounds like a cool sample for some music. I'll make it. Yeah, I mean, nice. A music maker, eh? We have a few of those in here. Like Miss Sylvie. And Kirk. I was about to say, wait, there's this other guy in here. What's his name? Sylvie, by the way, Kirk's lyrics, they are a bit intense, but what I like about his lyrics is that you can tell that they're deeply personal, and I've always appreciated just like feeling like I'm getting to know a person even through their music. So yeah, the weird part is how catchy it is to stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, so maybe, just maybe, hear me out. We do a little bit of like the not talking about benzos. Is that a Karina Reichman shirt? Yes, it is. You know who you like, Karina? Karina? I love Karina. Yeah, she's the best. She was cool as fuck, man. She signed my. I bought her vinyl after the show, and she actually like asked like a few questions about me, and I just said, I'm like, yeah, I got a YouTube channel. I also kind of mentioned, I'm like, yeah, I would love to play your music. She sent the email. But yeah, she signed my like Pep Rocks, and it was cool. Yeah, check out Karina Reichman, guys. If you don't already know who she is, she's got awesome like kind of psych vibe music, and then on top of it, she also has some social commentary kind of mixed in with her stuff. It's really, really cool. I learned of her when she DJ'd a hardcore set on the boat I was on. Really? That's cool. Yeah, dude. What I really like about her specifically is the fun vibe, and then when her live, she has so much fun. Dolly effing Parton. Look at that. Hey, appreciate the follow. But yeah, her vibe was the greatest. She looked like and this is how I knew too, is there was an older lady behind us that had no idea because she played a festival, and they were definitely not there to see her. And they were just like, I love this girl. She's so much fun. I'm like, yeah, right? Like, it comes like just with a 3-piece band, it just comes across like she's having so much fucking fun playing the music. And yeah, she made an on-site song about drones. That was pretty funny. And then she's immediately just like, oh my god, wait, no, I hope nobody got that on video, because she's at one point they had a show drone, and she's just like, drones, I love drones. She's like, no. Who just pulled a rip? Oh, somebody who followed over on Twitch. You guys can get your own rip over on Twitch when you guys follow. Here, follow through this link. If you have a Twitch account, you should already be doing this. But for real, you can hop on over, get yourself a little smokage, and then if you got those Bezos, those Bezos books. I'm going to take it from the TYT, the Bezos books. Give me some of them billionaire buckaroos. I was just having a rip when I heard that. Oh, no shit. You're just like, was that me? You're pretty cool for a Democrat. Oh, cool. Look at that, guys. I can soften them up a little bit. I guess I'm a Democrat. I'm actually more of a leftist. I'm technically, I am a democratic socialist. All right. I know what I am politically now. I can just go, that's what I am. This is what I believe. But I also believe in, not alienating people just because we are, be the ambassador. Oh. Every once in a while, I'm like, well, I am part of, a larger collective of leftists where every once in a while I feel like I'm just a goofy goober, but no, hey, if the goofy goober can help bring some people over, then hey, I can give myself some credit. No, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Like, in all seriousness, that's kind of my goal here, is to make people demonize people less, especially on the left. Like, man, with everything going on and everybody talking about like the crazy left, blah blah blah. My camera tilted. That's weird. Give me a second. Yeah, I mean, are you like a MAGA right winger, or are you like a you consider yourself Republican classic? There we go. But I am interested in having, again, broader discussions. Somebody even tried to be like, well, that was Charlie Kirk's thing. I'm just like, yeah, you're a MAGA right winger. Oh, interesting. How'd you come to that? Was it like family? You got like MAGA family, or did you just? I don't know how old you are. I'm an unk, so what can I say? Been around too long to just be the constantly hateful. You're Mexican. That is interesting. And you're still a MAGA right winger right now? Interesting. So if you're a MAGA right winger and you're Mexican, I'm assuming that you're second. So are you second? I don't want to assume, but are you second generation? Like, you got your citizenship. Do you like figure you have to walk around with extra identification? Not sure if you live in an area where you might. Like, if you were living in Chicago, I could tell you this. Yeah, you would have to carry extra identification, or just like make sure you are a proven citizen. You're like fourth generation. Oh, okay. Well, damn. So you're technically a Wexican then. Sorry. I feel like that could be a little derogative. But that's what my friend calls himself. I made a joke about him yesterday, and it's completely true, where we were at I forgot what the fuck it was. It was some school event for him. And he had a group of Mexican dudes like come up to him and start speaking Spanish to him, and he was just like, I am Samoan. Sorry, guys. And I just, he'd never used that one before in front of me, so I was like, what the he's, shut the fuck up. And then as they left, he's just like, dude, I don't speak Spanish, so it's just easier if I tell him I'm Samoan. I'm like, you do look Samoan. Ever since then, it's just like, hey, it's my favorite Samoan. Oh my god, I just realized I got to get him. Oh, I forgot what the thing is called. It's like the pepper necklace from, well, it looks like a pepper necklace to me. The pepper necklace. I'm sorry. It's the whitest thing I think I've ever seen. There's like, oh my god, Roman Reigns he's gonna see a clip of this and he's just like, bring me pep talks. What is that called? Coffee? What? Ulafa. An ulafa. There we go. Wait, an ulafala? Ulafala. Ulafala. Yeah, there we go. Ulafala. Whatever. I'm not part of the Samoan culture. I don't know. I'm not trying to appropriate. Not like my friend was. Damn. My Mexican family has some right-wingers. I was born in Arizona. Yeah, I don't know, man. That kind of makes sense. Like, I have this thing where here I kind of say, like, it's the people who shut the door because they're just like, well, we don't want anybody ruining this for us, and there's already, you know, this common conception of, you know, the illegal immigrants, so we don't want people conflating that with us. But I don't know, man. I just have a feeling that, like, with the current climate, you guys are going to get profiled, and the fact that the Supreme Court made that completely legal, it's going to be a little bit more complicated for all y'all. And that's what sucks. You know, that's what all of us, you know, on the left were trying to fight against and just be like, no, that's kind of not cool to just profile people by the, you know, their skin color or the fact that they speak a different language. But okay, I guess we're just cratering towards some fucking crazy shit, but you'll be fine. You think so. You think so. But I'm just saying, like, just because you don't fit it within that, I'm just be prepared, man, because it's not the brightest amongst us that are, you know, part of these ICE raids, and they've already arrested U.S. citizens and then detained them for days, and you have to sit in these, you know, conditions where I don't know if it happens to you. I'm just wondering, theoretically, if you were wrongly arrested and held for 4 to 5 days without any phone, like, you have no idea what's going on, you don't have legal representation because they're taking away, you know, your right to due process, so you just sit there, you get some bad meals, you have no idea, and you know that you're a citizen. Do you think that you would be a little de-radicalized from the MAGA sphere and maybe look at things a little differently? This is all theoretical, obviously, but if you're a young Democrat, you have empathy. If you have conservative, you become conservative older because you became smart or something like that. Like my dad always used to say, he's like, well, you know, you'll probably always be like socially liberal but fiscally conservative, and fiscally conservative means you care about your family's finances over, you know, social bullshit overall. So essentially it was like, you're gonna like money and be selfish. It's like, that's kind of fucked up. It's like, especially as, you know, we kind of took advantage of living in a community where it's like, you know, that seems kind of whack, I was gonna say, but whatever. quote pep talks. Oh man, social injustice, that's whack. If you are high blood zone, the fact that the Supreme Court did this has implications on everyone not white. Yeah, that's why I was trying, like, to be a little nicer about it, but for real, it does. Now I'll be fine, and now Nah, I'll be fine, but he won't unless he has an albino mom like me. Oh. Well, dude, I have a friend that, like, I didn't know that he's actually from Peru and speaks fluent Spanish. Like, he just threw that on me one day where I was like, what the fuck? Like, you look whiter than me. What? Yeah, that was funny. It's just like, no, man, I was born in Peru. I was like, this is wild. But then he showed me his family, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like, what happened? You got the thing. And then I'm like, wait a minute, you don't look like your parents necessarily, and your siblings, but you're definitely your mom's kid. 1 + 1 + another 1 equals 5. Liberal math. That's my mom, basically dirty blonde, green eyes, but Spanish. Yeah. Fiscal conservatism is a lie told to make people think budgeting is conservative values. Yes, 1000%. And like I said earlier, I have been told that, like, budgeting, like, I literally had this argument with somebody where on the left, surprisingly, where they're telling me, like, yeah, you know, budgeting is playing into conservative, like a conservative mindset, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? Oh, what? Like, that fucking broke me. Occasionally, like, I just also have these moments where I'm like, are they fucking with me? I feel like they're fucking with me. But yeah, this is a good 4-2. So just hand gringo. Yeah, they're actually doing ice raids out in the Chicago suburbs right now. Like, there's one, Christy Nome was in one. I just saw this yesterday. She went to, it's called Elgin. People pronounce it Elgin. It is Elgin. But yes, they were apparently out there. I know that they were in Arlington Heights, where, funny enough, Charlie Kirk is from. And for anybody that's going to take that as like, oh, well, you told us Arlington Heights was like, you know, white country. It's like, it is. It's like the very affluent suburbs, but there's like a portion of Arlington Heights that's, like, funny enough, near the tollway. Elgin, yes. That's what it's called. Elgin. I think they're a city? I don't know. I just saw that they were there. And then, yeah, they're, like, funny enough, staying on the outskirts of the city proper. Weird how they're not going into, you know, certain districts. There's a district, it's like by Skokie, where you have guys like Chuy Garcia, who, if you guys don't know him, he's not really a national character. He's run for mayor like 4 times, but he's a pretty solid dude. And yeah, but they're not going there, which makes me wonder what's going on. But we also have evidence of Chicago, like the Chicago police, running interference on ice raids, which is nice. But then you have the other Chicago suburb, I forgot which one she was in, that Cat exposed yesterday, where they have a small police force that is guarding the ICE detention center from protesters. Yeah, great use of police, you know. It's almost like, you know, with all those ICE people, they could almost guard their own shit. What's going on there? Why are we wasting more money, honestly? Like, if I was, like, part of that specific village. I think that one's a village. You never know. In Chicago, you never know. It's like you live in a city, you live in a village, you live in a township. It's like I don't even. Hello from Denmark. Yo, Stellas, how you doing? It's been a minute. I've not seen you in chat in a minute. How you been? Hey, Glim, welcome back. Did you enjoy the music at the beginning of the show? I hope that that didn't scare you off, because as Silly pointed out, she's like, yes, it's very catchy music, but the lyrics are just intense. Let's see. I'm very good. Hell yeah. I'm happy that you're good. It's awesome. I'm glad some of you guys are doing well. You know, I'm having a pretty good day, but overall, man, yesterday was more of a preview of how I'm actually feeling with everything that is going on. I don't remember any music. Oh. I thought you were there for the music portion of the show. My bad. It's okay. Very worrying about your situation. Yeah. Well, it's devolved so quickly. Like that Charlie Kirk thing, really. It's been there's been fallout, and it's kind of alarming. You know, guys like Hassan, I'm starting to see him finally come to terms with this, where it's like, oh shit, yeah, all right. Because I just saw something where there's this like mass post going around of these guys, like it's in the Turning Point font, asking who is the Charlie Kirk of the left. And a lot of people were just like, why are you asking? And why is this like a Turning Point thing? And it's just like, oh, no reason. Do they have events? It's just like, oh, I see what you're doing here. Okay, so this is essentially a veiled threat. Cool. Not on me personally. I'm just saying, like, to leftists. And it's just like, you know, leftists, you better, wait. Oh, really? That's interesting. So TMZ is even getting in on this, eh? Here, let me take a look. Somebody just sent me a link. Oh, shit! Never mind. I can't play TMZ. I just remembered. No, they'll strike. Sorry, guys. That goes on the back burner, because, yeah, I cannot play that. Damn it. Yeah, even TMZ's getting on the list possibly being fake. Here we go. Let's check this out.
All right, guys, so
we got our daily Kyle Kulinski segment. Let's go. Yesterday I did like 4, but it's okay. Today we're just doing, I think, this one and maybe another. I think I had one more lined up, but that was for the fun half.
I have some updates for you here in the Charlie Kirk case, and suffice to say, it is getting weird. I mean, it was already weird, but it's getting weirder. I think it's fair to say it's getting weirder. And that's not just me saying it. If you look on social media and see the reaction from across the political spectrum.
You just watched them?
People are going...
Well, I hope it wasn't this one. If it was, well...
Really? Okay, so let's go through it. The FBI, Kash Patel, they decided to release...
Probably not the full thing. It's only going to be like the first segment here.
The correspondence, I guess, via text message between Tyler Robinson and his alleged lover. Now, they say trans lover, but it's still not set in stone that that's actually the case. We only heard that from the MAGA mom.
Yeah, they keep saying biological male.
So, I've seen speculation that...
And then, yeah, MAGA mom is coming out and just being like, his politics were starting to shift a little bit left. Like, do you think that she's not... I don't know, man. At this point, if there was an attorney involved, even for the family, it's like, shut the fuck up.
They are trans.
Jesus Christ.
They aren't trans. They're a furry or something like that. But that's
because the thing is, the kid was living at home. If they could, like, there are now things where they're trying to be like, well, yeah, maybe we should have to prosecute the families.
Neither here nor there, but let me walk you through.
Biological male is a dog whistle. Yeah, I know.
So they release it, and here's what they say. Ready? After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" So allegedly, you had Robinson leaving a note under the keyboard or something, and on that note, he basically says, like, it was me.
Forgetting that he does
I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I wasn't going to pass up that opportunity. And so after reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson says, "I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Yet shouldn't be long until I can come home. But I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." The roommate says, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson says, "I am. I'm sorry."
I am. I'm sorry, my love. I must put this rose in my mouth and bid you adieu.
Roommate says, "I thought they caught the person." Robinson says, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." Roommate says, "Why? Why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." Roommate, "How long have you been planning this?" Robinson, "A bit over a week, I believe. I can't get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it."
All right, maybe hearing him read it out, this is...
Robinson says,
It is sus.
"I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got..."
Oddly enough, when I was reading this, like, in real time, it didn't... I kind of took it at face value, oddly enough.
"Got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't even know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about print..."
I mean, no matter what, the implications of these text messages kind of like, and the Discord messages specifically. Oh, wait, it wasn't the text messages that we went through. It was the Discord messages. Aha.
To leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge ooh woo on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks. It's kind of incredible that somebody who planned out a crime and basically got away with it. The only reason that this person was turned in is because their dad turned them in. If the dad didn't turn them in, they were basically gonzo. It was basically over, right? But that person who did this crime, got away with it, is in a text chain now going, "Call me the crimes man. I committed crimes."
Yeah, he's laying out a plot, not explaining himself.
"Here's exactly how I did it. Here's where I left the..."
Yeah, it's all too convenient. Again, if Alex Jones was even just a smidgen of his old self, he'd go like, "Yeah, it's a little bit fucked up.
Evidence. I think I got away with it, but sure, it was me. I did the crimey McCrimington. That's why they call me the crimes guy. Here's a detailed breakdown of how it went down and how I hid the evidence and what's going on moving forward." And other people have pointed out, too, my old man thing. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. My old man? Can we be serious here? That's not Gen Z lingo. Gen Z doesn't talk like that. He somehow knew everything, all the updates on the ground. Like, you knew that there was an old guy that was taken into custody. You knew about the guy with the pellet gun who was taken into custody. So as you're running for your life, you're also...
These texts are so fake, in my opinion.
What, somehow on social media, checking all the...
Yeah, hearing them read out again, it is just like, what?
Updates? But I thought he didn't even have social media. We were told he didn't even have social media.
And then somebody kind of brought it up. Yeah, this almost does seem like ChatGPT-ish.
All right, so what's he getting, like CNN alerts about the updates as he's running for his life?
I, sound of mind, am going to commit.
Life, he's checking every
I am not reading that.
Every wrinkle in the case that comes in,
because that will be
a lot of this smells fishy. So, and that's, like I said, that's across the political spectrum. You're getting this reaction. So first, let me give you this tweet. "I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I have a really hard time believing in a short text exchange. The alleged shooter makes his
It sounds like Kash Patel wrote it himself. Yeah. Oh my God, that would be so on brand for them, though.
Confession, confirms location of the weapon, confirms the type of weapon, confirms it was wrapped in a towel, confirms his motive, exonerates the decoy, George Zinn, admits to the bullet engravings, confirms the wardrobe change, confirms how long he's been planning it, discloses the existence and location of a now destroyed pre-written confession note, randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is diehard MAGA, as if he wouldn't already know that given the nature of their relationship, and is worried about his dad/grandpa being upset if he doesn't come home with the rifle, not the fact that he just used it to commit a murder. Not to mention a 22-year-old terminally online Zoomer using phrases like squad car, drop point, swept the area, my vehicle, till I died of old age, my old man. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. So yeah, I forgot. I think there's a slightly longer.
Yeah.
Like they released a little longer than what I just read for you, and in that they had the thing about like he talks about how his dad is MAGA. Well, this person would know that. This person would already know that. Randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is MAGA as if he wouldn't already know that. Okay, so that's one that I found interesting. Here's another one. Brooklyn Dad Defiant. This guy is like totally resistance liberal pilled. Yeah. He says, I don't believe the text messages were written by Tyler Robinson for a second. I didn't know him personally, but I know that no 22-year-old writes text messages like this. This feels like that Steve Buscemi skateboard meme. How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah. Okay. Had she, all right. Unfortunately, the, I keep forgetting her name, but the lady at I've Had It podcast saying that her 22-year-old son doesn't text like that. Okay. I might have taken that a little bit differently.
Yeah, that's another.
Now, this is a much better way of saying this.
Another thing, I forgot to bring that point up, but when you look at a lot of these texts, he's sending fucking essays, bro. He's sending essays.
Yeah.
First of all, that's rare to begin with. But second of all, especially if the person is younger, they're not sending fucking essays via text messages. And the other thing is, this is probably the biggest point in my mind. Guys.
Dude, if this included a freaking, like the eggplant emote.
We're talking about
like that'd be more believable.
Kash Patel and Dan Bongino.
Not one eggplant? Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
That's what we're talking about is running the FBI. I don't trust those motherfuckers. I don't trust them at all. We know all they care about is getting the fucking brownie points and the adoration from the MAGA blob on social media. And anything they can do to get that, they will do it. And so here they're trying to, hey, we got the guy, wrap it up. Oh, look at this, these text messages he sent. So I told you it's across the political spectrum. So you got people like Brooklyn Dad Defiant. He's a hardcore resistance liberal. And then you got Sloppy Steve. What's Sloppy Steve saying?
And as bad as it's presented in Utah, I'm not buying all of it. I'm particularly not buying those text messages. It just seems too still.
Damn, even Steve Bannon's coming out? All right.
Too much.
I know that Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson are retaliating with the whole First Amendment thing.
Like too much like a script.
Actually, watch a video about that in a minute.
And I have to say, I'm even seeing non-political people say the same shit on social media. I'm seeing non-political people go, really?
Yeah.
Really? So look at this. This person ran the alleged text messages through Grok and ChatGPT and asked the AI, hey, what's the likelihood this is real? And they both find the text messages between Tyler and his partner most likely fabricated. Now look, I'm not out here speaking
Damn, dude. They've been pushing to use AI and everything in the government, and now all of a sudden the AI is even just like, man, they're full of shit.
Absolutes. I'm not saying for sure that is the case or isn't the case. I'm just saying
that's funny.
This is what they released, and it's making a lot of people go, huh, that's weird. So look,
that's weird.
The other part that you guys know I'm struggling to get over, and I'm curious if you guys are feeling the same thing, but I am struggling to wrap my mind around two decoys, two diversions. I really am.
Yeah. Again, we keep forgetting about the pellet gun guy.
The fact that there was an old guy screaming, I did it, shoot me. And so he gave the person time to get
who just got arrested for having CP, by the way.
The fact that happened, the fact that there was a guy with a pellet gun that looked like a real gun, and he also took up time of the officials, law enforcement officials, that's sketchy to me. It's
AI recognizes AI.
Sketchy to me. The story doesn't add up with him changing twice and also disassembling and reassembling the weapon multiple times. That also doesn't add up. According to the official story, he shot the rifle, disassembled it, put it in his backpack, jumped off the roof, ran into the woods, then reassembled it and left it assembled. That just doesn't make sense to me. So, this is what they dropped. This is what they say is the big update. But now I got some other updates for you from a different angle. So Ken Klippenstein says the following: exclusive leaked messages from Charlie Kirk assassin. So he was able to talk to people who were part of the
Yeah, we read this yesterday.
People who were part of the Discord group that Tyler Robinson was.
Because we read this yesterday. Unless he does like a short one, then if he goes through this, then we're just going to call it here.
That's quote, hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. Thus, Tyler Robinson messaged his friends on Discord seemingly apologizing for murdering Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry for all of this. I obtained this in other Discord chats. I've decided to publish. The legacy news media, as usual, refuses, along with new information I've learned about Robinson from the people who knew him best. Oh, I should also point out, by the way, that the text messages that were released by the FBI, you have a lot of legal experts who are looking at them going, even if this shit is real, you're fucking your own case by releasing it now. That's what a lot of experts are saying. All right, so this is a screenshot. This is from Ken Klippenstein's reporting. Charlie Kirk got shot, dead. I just saw the video. Holy shit, rest in peace, I guess. Bro didn't deserve to go out like that. So that's the other people on the Discord,
Is he really? Okay, hold on.
Board saying those things to each other, right? Zealous Monkey chimes in. This is supposed to be Tyler. Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for...
See, now these come across as like Legit.
For thank you all for everything. Trump and company portray the alleged Utah shooter as left wing, and liberals portray him as right wing. The federal conclusion will inevitably be that he was a so-called nihilist violent extremist, or NVE. Meanwhile, the crackdown has already begun. As I reported yesterday, the country is practically ready to go to war. Quote, "It's been so terrible, and seeing it from an inside perspective is so frustrating. A friend of Robinson since middle school told me, the childhood friend who asked not to be named for fear of threats, provided me with the above non-public photo of Robinson on a camping trip, a favorite activity of his, to corroborate their relationship. Quote, I think the main thing that's caused so much confusion is that he was always generally apolitical for the most part, the friend told me. That's the big thing. He just never really talked politics, which is why it's so frustrating. The picture that emerges bears little resemblance to the media version. Robinson, I am told, though quiet, was a well-liked person with a supportive family. The friend group who he interacted with on Discord, far from some kind of militia, camp, or Antifa bunker, it's been portrayed as represented a range of different political views, but mostly talked video games. Yesterday, FBI Director Kash Patel said in an interview that Robinson subscribed to left-wing ideology, citing his family's remarks to investigators. But those close to Robinson say there was a lot his family didn't know about him. Quote, their ideas are based on someone they didn't fully understand, the childhood friend told me. Though the family was generally supportive of Robinson, a claim corroborated by his mother's Facebook account brimming with praise for Tyler, they didn't seem to know about his relationship with a trans person named Lance, the friend said. When I asked if his family would have been accepting, the friend replied, I don't think even Tyler knew
this administration is the one that released the doctored Epstein jail videos. That's all right. I'm getting inspired to put together like just a list of all their fuck ups. Like they're comically bad fuck ups.
Answer that question, which is why he kept it so low key between themselves. Tyler's bisexuality, the friend said, was coupled with openness on LGBT issues, but his wasn't some cookie cutter lefty position on every or even most issues, his friends say. Obviously, he's okay with gay and trans people having a right to exist, but also believes in the Second Amendment, that friend said, referring to the right to bear arms. The friend described Robinson as fairly typical of a young man his age from Utah, someone who loved the outdoors, was a gamer, and into guns. Quote, all of us, he just seemed like a simple guy who liked playing games like Sea of Thieves, Deep Rock Galactic, and Helldivers 2, loved to fish and loved to camp. The friend said, it really didn't seem like that's all he was about.
Weird. I heard a report that said that his grandmother said that he never touched a gun before.
And then they have some more messages here, Helldivers 2 stuff. The phrase inscribed on one of the bullet casings from the shooting, hey fascist catch, though widely reported to mean he was a man of the left, is in fact a reference to the Helldivers 2 game. 3 arrows initially believed by federal agents to be a reference to Antifa are also a reference to Helldivers. Private Discord messages shared with me by a friend of Robinson's confirmed that Robinson wasn't some political martyr. A search for posts of Robinson's containing keywords like Biden and Trump turned up just 1 hit each. The Trump post was a passing reference to the 2019 impeachment inquiry. The Biden one came on the day of the 2020 election. We provided an update to another friend asking about the status of the vote count. And so then here are those messages. An impeachment inquiry has been placed against Donald Trump. He could get booted out if they find he committed the shit he's accused of. And then the Biden one is, who's winning the election? Who is winning the election? You would know. Biden is in the lead, electoral votes-wise, but there are still some swing states that haven't finished voting, as well as most of the West Coast raw votes. Donald is in the lead by a little over 1 million votes. And then that goes on a little bit. The childhood friend is a member of multiple Discord chats with Robinson. He described the group as trying to grapple with Robinson's motive just like everyone else. So that's the other thing is like all the people that are in these group chats, they're like mostly apolitical and they weren't in any way, shape, or form involved in like the planning of this or whatever. And at the moment, it looks like Kash Patel and the FBI are basically trying to ruin the lives of all these people who knew him and who were in these chat boards with him. This was not some like underbelly of the internet type shit. These are regular people, largely apolitical, just chatting about like video games or whatever. And so now they're terrified. But so according to the friends, they're like, look, man, he's largely apolitical, seemed like a normal dude, and, you know, he ended up doing this. That's what they say. Okay. Now I got another update for you. So as we discussed last time,
oh, what is my substance?
You had...
I love Kyle Kulinski. Oh, man. Call out. Now I'm actually looking for the next video here. Because I backed out of it. It got taken down. I don't know why because there's a breaking points video. Why the fuck would that get taken down? No, that's definitely not. Somebody take it down? Oh, I guess they took it down. Shit. I'll have to I might even have to go to the. Oh wait, damn it! I got to make sure that Megyn Kelly's channel isn't one of those ones that goes after other people.
It's alleged that Charlie Kirk was basically going to turn on Israel, or he slowly but surely was turning on Israel.
Yeah.
For example,
I mean, Candace Owens, I have to say, that was another one that we need to bring up here, is Candace Owens turning on Charlie Kirk.
He
Charlie Kirk's wife.
questioned whether or not,
cool background. Oh, thank you.
not October 7th was allowed to proceed by the
Silver
Israeli
Wesley,
government.
welcome to the show.
Basically saying like almost like an inside job to an extent, where they let it happen and there's like a stand down order. He talked about that. He's agreed that Epstein was Mossad. But at the same time, most of his rhetoric was very, very pro-Israel for a very long time. But according to a bunch of reports now, you have people who were saying that leading up to his killing, Netanyahu
Wait, that was in The Guardian? Oh, wait.
had invited him to come to Israel. Netanyahu had invited him to come to Israel. He rejected it. Netanyahu had offered to give like over $100 million to TPUSA. That's his group, his youth conservative group.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
he rejected it. He didn't want that money because he probably knew the strings attached to that are, you got to cheerlead our fucking genocide and pretend like Israel has done no wrong. Remember, Charlie had also invited like Dave Smith to one of his TPUSA.
Oh my God. Dude, you want to talk about fucking bad faith and a bad faith argument? They brought fucking Jeffree Star on to defend trans rights against Megyn Kelly and Riley Gaines on Piers Morgan.
Events, who's, very critical of Israel. He's had Tucker Carlson and whatnot. And so there were...
How's my day going so far? Pretty good, honestly. Had a rough go yesterday, but things are, I'm having a good day.
Right-wing Zionists who were pretty pissed off that the Republican who leads the largest youth Republican group in the country was at the very least flirting with the anti-Israel position, which, by the way, if you're representing young Republicans, you kind of have to do that, if not just be anti-Israel, because the polls show among Republicans, young Republicans are the most anti-Israel. So there was an article in the Gray Zone that laid all this stuff out, and now we have another one. Take a look at this. Billionaire Bill Ackman convened stormy Israel intervention with Charlie Kirk, sources say. A month before Charlie Kirk's killing, billionaire pro-Israel money man Bill Ackman arranged an intervention in the Hamptons during
Nice, I think mine's worse.
Sources say
I'm sorry that you're having a bad day.
and others hammered Kirk for the conservative leader's growing criticism of Israeli influence in Washington.
Hope I can make it a little bit better.
Kirk came away fretting about Israeli blackmail, sources say, as he contemplated a Catholic conversion. So he was Protestant, and the Protestants, the evangelical Christians, they're all hardcore Zionists. Like, think of like Mike Huckabee, for example. I mean, that guy is deep in that world of let Israel do whatever they want. It's the Holy Land. They want the rapture to happen. They want God to come back. And so Charlie was thinking, well, maybe I'll become a Catholic. And the Catholics, there's some more room in Catholicism to criticize Israel than there is in being a Protestant. All right, let's continue. On September 11th, one day after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, billionaire pro-Israel money man Bill Ackman took to Twitter to trumpet his relationship with the late conservative operative. Quote, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this...
Why is Jeffree Star back in the news? He should have stayed chilling in Michigan or whatever. I've been seeing it more and more.
Summer. He was a giant...
well, it's because right-wingers are bringing him out as like the... and here to defend trans rights, here is Jeffree Star.
The man. The Gray Zone has spoken to 5 people with intimate knowledge of Kirk's meeting. 5. According to one source...
I wouldn't be surprised if Jeffree Star is going like with full-blown fucking MAGA points.
Kirk was
like
left
talking
upset
points now and just agreeing with everything.
After the gathering turned into an intervention where he was hammered for his increasingly skeptical views on the U.S. special relationship with Israel and for platforming prominent conservative critics of Israel at TPUSA events. Since publishing this report, the Gray Zone has learned from one attendee of the Hamptons event that Ackman convened the influencers under the auspices of a discussion about Zoran Mamdani and the supposed threat he posed to the West if elected mayor of New York. But the meeting went off the rails when Ackman personally confronted Kirk about his views on Israel. The public face of UK Lawyers for Israel, Natasha Hausdorff, joined in the argument.
That's kind of interesting. And like this does kind of play into the whole, conspiratorial narrative that he was turning.
And began screaming at Kirk, according to the attendee.
The client is paying today for their work, but he backed off. I don't know why, but after that, he paid someone and they never respond to him back.
When his host presented him with a detailed list of every offense he supposedly committed against Israel, Kirk was horrified, said one person. Ackman also allegedly demanded Kirk rescind his invitation for Tucker Carlson speaking at his upcoming America Fest 2025 in December. The whole thing was a disaster, said an attendee. The Gray Zone
I'm sorry that happened.
Reported on September 12th, citing a longtime associate of Kirk, that Netanyahu had offered to organize...
I actually kind of feel bad. I had to back off of a project because I had some stuff happen in my life, and
a massive infusion of pro-Israel money into TPUSA, and that Kirk refused. Another longtime friend of Kirk has told the Gray Zone that the conservative activist also rejected an offer Netanyahu delivered 2 weeks before his death to meet with him in Jerusalem. Kirk, according to one person with inside knowledge of the meeting with Ackman, said he left feeling as though he'd been subjected to blackmail. In a series of text messages with the Gray Zone, Ackman described these accounts of his meeting with Kirk as totally false. He pledged to release a public statement providing his own account of the event, but refused the Gray Zone's request for clarification or further details. He would not accept phone calls from this reporter. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I think I can easily put this to bed, Ackman promised. I have receipts, as they say. He did not abide when
Dude.
asked to provide the
This is a little bit deeper than I thought it was.
so-called receipts. In an apparent bid to reinforce the pro-Israel tone at the Hamptons meeting, Ackman hosted a coterie of pro-Israel operatives and conservative influencers.
I didn't realize that Kirk had that big of a problem with like a billionaire that was backing Israel. I didn't know about that part at all.
At the off-the-record engagement. One was Instagram influencer Xavier Durousseau of PragerU. Reached by phone by the Gray Zone, Durousseau sounded flustered when asked about his presence at the meeting. He repeatedly demanded to know how the reporter obtained his number and eventually hung up, refused to answer questions about the event. Several Instagram...
Okay, actually, I'm an artist by professional, so yeah, after that LA incident, going through some rough phase, so tried to onboard a client, but no luck.
Post by Durousseau show him and his friend, conservative influencer Emily Wilson, in the Hamptons on August 8th outside Topping Rose House, a posh hotel and restaurant in Bridgehampton, New York. So these are like the D-list conservative celebrities. That's who these people are right here. And they ended up going on a trip to Israel where Xavier stood in one of like the UN food zones and started bragging about how much food there is there and how Israel's doing right by the people of Gaza and it's Hamas who's stealing all the food. Meanwhile, not like less than a mile away from him, you have Palestinians literally starving to death, but he's standing there doing fucking propaganda for the government that's starving Palestinians to death. Yeah. 2 weeks after the meeting, Durousseau was reportedly junketed on an all-expenses-paid trip. This is what we just discussed. He recorded an Instagram video denying that the population of the besieged Gaza Strip was experiencing a famine. The Gray Zone received a similarly agitated response from Wilson, known online as Emily Saves America, following a phone call and exchange of text messages in which this reporter asked her numerous times about her attendance of...
Oh, she's the one that was accused of doing the handy, or getting fingered in the TP USA lounge.
The meeting in the Hamptons. Wilson
or the lobby of the hotel that was hosting the TP USA.
Used to comment. Instagram photos placed her in the Hamptons at the same time as Durousseau. CJ Pearson is another one, a leading youth coordinator for the RNC. Immediately referred the Gray Zone to his communications director when asked if he attended the Hamptons gathering. So we scroll down. Seth Dillon was there. Xavier Durousseau was there. This is the video of him denying that there's famine in Gaza, doing Israeli propaganda.
Nice.
You have CJ Pearson. Here's the other guy. So these are just some of the D-list conservative influencers who were seemingly at this event. As the Gray Zone reported on September 12th, Kirk was besieged with angry calls and messages from pro-Israel donors to his organization following TPUSA's Student Action Summit this July in Tampa. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had also phoned him, according to a longtime friend of Kirk, and offered to orchestrate a massive infusion of pro-Israel money. A longtime friend of Kirk told the Gray Zone the mounting pressure had left him angry and frightened. Kirk vented about the pro-Israel intimidation campaign in an August 6th discussion with Megan.
All I'm going to say is that picture that I just witnessed had major Get Out vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Kelly, a former Fox News host who was also growing more critical of Israeli influence in Washington. It's all of a sudden, oh, Charlie, he's no longer with us. Wait a second. What does with us mean exactly? I'm an American, okay? I represent this country. The more that you guys privately and publicly call our character into question, which is not isolated, it would be one thing if it were just one text or two texts. It is dozens of texts. Then we start to say, whoa, hold the boat there. Kirk continued. To be fair, some really good Jewish friends say that's not...
By the way, as a streamer, do you need any artwork for your channel?
That's not all of us.
Oh, I actually did my logo and everything, but I always appreciate fan art.
But these are leaders here. These are stakeholders. He went on. I have less ability to criticize the Israeli government than actual...
Have a P.O. box if you enjoy the show.
Israelis do.
But yeah, I mean, if I need something commissioned, I will totally check out your stuff. Here, I'll give you.
And that's really, really weird.
Discord.
Kirk delivered his comments around the same time as the tumultuous meeting in the Hamptons.
Welcome to the show and welcome to the community. Hit that follow button, though. If you don't hit the follow, then I might not send the link.
With Ackman and the crew of pro-Israel influencers. A month earlier, Kirk had opened the stage at TPUSA Student Action Summit for a cathartic outpouring of frustration and rage about Israel's political hammerlock on the Trump administration. At the conference, speakers from Carlson to Kelly to the anti-Zionist Jewish comedian Dave Smith slammed Israel. All right, so this goes on here, guys. You get the point. And here's the thing. Netanyahu, he would view Charlie Kirk as like uniquely positioned to help Israel moving forward, because Netanyahu knows you lost the Democratic base. They're gone. They hate you. It's like 7% approval for a guy like Netanyahu from the Democratic base, if not less than that, right? So you lost Democratic voters. You're losing a lot of Democratic politicians. You own the Republican Party, and 83% of Republican voters still support Israel. But there's one demographic of Republicans that does not support Israel. Young Republicans. Well, young Republicans are the future. Netanyahu's concerned about the future. Hey, if we have none of the Democrats on our side, and now it's a majority of young Republicans who are also against Israel, well, it would be a very uniquely important figure would be the figurehead of the young conservative movement. And that, of course, is what TPUSA represents, like the youth wing of the Trump MAGA Republican propaganda arm. And for that guy to be, questioning Israel more and more by the day, it's...
plus Candace Owens, too. You have to remember that, like, Candace Owens and other influencers who were, like, TPUSA adjacent, they were doing the same thing.
Certainly is the case that they're saying, okay, hey, we'll give you all this support if you're with us. Hey, come visit Israel. We'd love to have you. Hey, here's over $100 million we want to give you. And he says no to the trip, and he says no to the money. And he felt like he was getting fucking berated and chastised by these pro-Israel billionaires who were trying to pull rank on him and basically say, like, hey, you got to fall in line and do your job here. you could see how Netanyahu and these hardcore Zionists, they would want somebody who is more pro-Israel in that position. You can see how that would be the case. Now, does that mean Israel was the one who did it? No. To this point, there's zero hard
Can we do a Discord member call-in show?
evidence to that fact. There's only this circumstantial stuff. But I'm still in the same position I was on day one of this thing, bro, where I'm more confused than ever. The official story makes no fucking sense. The fact that there were decoys and diversions there on the ground, the fact that he changed clothes multiple times, put together the rifle and took it apart multiple times. They didn't even bother trying to explain the discrepancies in their story. They just sort of leave it as is and hope you swallow it whole. And then at the same time, you know, we're getting stuff about very powerful people who were having an issue with Kirk. Now, the counter argument to what I'm saying is, of course, that Charlie Kirk was like, you know, to that point, he was like 90%, 80 to 90% massively pro-Israel. You know, like basically cheerleading.
Well, yeah, because he was a Zionist, like he was a straight up Zionist at that point.
Almost everything they did. He like ranted about how Palestinians are not starving. He made jokes about how, Palestinians throw gay people off of roofs, but guess what? There are no more high buildings in Gaza anymore, so I guess they can't do it anymore. Like, loathsome stuff. But at least according to the reporting, he was turning, right? He was turning. He was questioning it. He was not comfortable with it. Felt like they were blackmailing him. So it's an open question. It certainly looks like a professional job to me, but that doesn't mean
I like to hear more from Ilirda. She's very
it
informative.
was them, right? That does not mean it was them.
She's been busy.
I've seen people wildly speculate that, you know, this was from the CIA and this was from the Trump regime. And again, no evidence for that either. But I'll tell you one thing for sure, and this is the part where I hope everybody can agree. For the life of me, I do not fucking trust Kash Patel. I do not trust Dan Bongino. I do not trust any of these hardcore.
The funniest part is, Kyle, that's not that hot of a take, considering that most people that are on like the MAGA side, they're not exactly jazzed about these people. I don't know, man. I think that there's a lot of like career military folk that understood that putting those people in that position was a bad idea.
MAGA influencers, these podcasters who are now running the FBI, after they fired all the actual experts at the FBI who know what the fuck they're doing, you kick those people out, right? And then you're running
I am not reading that on
the
air.
investigation, and we got these stories with 17,000 holes in it. Holes big enough to drive a Mack truck through. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but I know there's something fishy happening. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now.
You know you want to. All right. Let's get to a little bit of a chill segment before we get to the next part. Sorry, guys. I keep doing the stretch, but I got this muscle right here. Like, right here. Whatever. I wish Legend of Sean was actually in chat right now so he can tell me. It's just like, hey, we got a person in our chat that is a certified massage therapist, so I need to know. Let's move on. Move on. Speaking of Candace Owens. Oh, everybody give Uni some good vibes. Post some hearts in chat for her, because that sucks. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Where's the stupid Okay, so there are two videos that I had up that they got the little sad face gray box from YouTube. They've been removed. Are they removing stuff that's they can't be like just blanket censoring. This must be like a glitch or something. This is weird. It's Candace Owens. Wait, there was a mass shooting at a homeless encampment? What? Hold on. Oh, here. You know what? We'll do this one.
Welcome back
Ability.
to the Philip DeFranco Show, your daily dive in the news. And once again, we have
thank you
a
for the
lot
follow.
to break down
Noble
today,
Game
starting
12.
with this. It's now been a week since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and there's just more and more that we're having to talk about with this. And we'll start with updates around his suspected killer, who had his first virtual court appearance yesterday, where you saw him saying his name, standing silently against a wall, and now and then nodding along while wearing a vest designed to prevent self-harm. And as far as the specific charges against him, those included aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, 2 counts of obstructing justice, 2 counts of witness tampering, and the commission of a violence offense in the presence of a child. And you had prosecutors yesterday confirming, yes, they will be pursuing the death penalty. Also beyond that, we learned more with Utah County Attorney Jeffrey Gray revealing that it was the suspect's own mother who kicked off the sequence of events leading to his arrest.
The day after the shooting, Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son. Robinson's mother called her son and asked him where he was. He said he was at home sick, and that he had also been at homesick on September 10th. Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspect shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed.
You then also had Gray at one point claiming that the suspect's mother
explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented.
Gray also said that the mom said that her son had started to date his roommate, who she claimed was a biological male, transitioning genders. Gray adding,
this resulted in several discussions,
again, so dog whistly,
with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views.
And then with that, you had Gray pointing to text messages between Robinson and his roommate as a key piece of evidence. You know, we talked about that a little yesterday, but to get into more detail, the roommate allegedly received a text message from the suspect which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate then apparently did as instructed and found a note that said, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." And then after
two mass shootings at homeless encampments. Oh man, we're
reading that note,
yeah, we're
the
gonna go
roommate
through that.
responded, "What? You're joking, right?" With it appearing that Robinson then responded by saying that he couldn't leave the area because of police activity, also saying that he still had to grab his rifle, which he had stashed nearby. When the roommate asked again whether or not he did it, Robinson replied, I'm sorry," to which the roommate answered, "I thought they caught the person." Robinson then responded, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down." Right, as far as that crazy old guy that was mentioned, who was briefly detained moments after Kirk was hit, that appears to be 71-year-old George Zinn in a...
Hold on, guys. Here we go. We'll go back to that in a second. At least 13 people have been wounded, 5 critically, in 2 shootings that erupted over a span of 12 hours at homeless encampments in Minneapolis, with the city's mayor saying he wouldn't be surprised if they were connected. The shooting on Monday marked the 4th and 5th mass shooting to occur in Minneapolis in the past 3 weeks, including one on August 27th at Annocation Catholic school that left 2 children dead and 21 wounded. This is tragic. It's horrible. It's unacceptable. And it's sadly, it's not surprising, Mayor Jacob Frey said. This is going to be weird because is the Trump administration going to try and use this to send the National Guard in? And yeah. This is or does he do the thing where it's just like, well, they were homeless. I mean, you know, the homeless problem, like, it's, again, sweat. It's always applicable. The sweaty guy meme. Well, what button do I push? Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Yeah, okay, so it's the same guy. Said the city's latest mass shooting unfolded Monday night and at a notorious homeless encampment in southeast Minneapolis, in which 8 people were shot and an estimated 30 shots were fired. Here we are at it again in the aftermath of a mass shooting. This is not normal. O'Hara said the shooting at the homeless encampment on South 28th Avenue and East Lake Street occurred around 10 p.m. local time. So an officer working at a Target store nearby was approached by multiple people running, telling him that there was gunfire at the encampment. The officer exited the store, heard gunfire coming from the area of the encampment. Upon arrival, officers found 5 people wounded, including 2 people, a man and a woman, discovered inside their tent suffering from bullet wounds to the head. He said 3 other gunshot victims showed up to the hospitals on their own. O'Hara said at least 4 of the victims had life-threatening gunshot wounds. The chief said multiple shell casings were recovered from the scene, leading to investigators to believe that someone inside the encampment exchanged gunfire with the shooter who targeted the encampment. Gee, I wonder why. So what are we going to do about Kilmeade? Huh? Seriously. So this guy can go on fucking Fox News and say that we just need to, K all homeless people. But okay. This motherfucker, like, he gets a little slap on the wrist and doesn't have any, like, suspension or anything. Just, I'm sorry I said that we should K homeless people. I was just pointing out that we have a big problem. And then this happens. I don't know, man. You want to talk about hate speech? You want to talk about, like, things that lead to things? Where's that? O'Hara said that in addition to the shootings, a fire broke out in one of the tents while police were on scene and that the firefighters were called to extinguish the blaze. No arrests have been announced in the shooting. O'Hara said detectives are investigating the possibility that the shooting is connected to earlier gunfire at a nearby homeless encampment that left 5 people injured, including 1 life-threatening condition. He said the earlier shooting occurred just after 11 a.m. near the intersection of East Lake Street and Stevens Avenue. While the investigation is very, very preliminary, that is certainly something that we can't rule out, and of course, it is something that we are considering. As about the possible connection of the 2 shootings, we won't know for sure. Blah blah blah. Ray said the city has been trying for months to clear the homeless encampment at South 28th Street and East Lake Street, the scene of Monday night shooting. He said the encampment was on private property and that the city's attempt to clear it have been met with resistance by the owner of the property. These homeless encampments are not safe either for the people that are in them, nor are they safe for the surrounding neighborhoods. With this particular one, we've been seeing this for months. We have been met with resistance for trying to clear out this particular camp. Okay, so this makes me wonder, are the casings 9mm by chance? In addition to the Annocation church shooting, blah, 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 blah. No, okay, no arrests have been found. All right. I'm just going to reiterate that this man on Fox says that it clear as day.
According to Utah County Sheriff Michael Smith, Zinn admitted to police that he had yelled that he was the shooter to allow the actual suspect to flee. And according to reports, what he said specifically was, "I shot him, now shoot me." And now he's actually being held on obstruction of justice charges, although separately he's reportedly been charged with possession of child sex abuse material. Also, a key thing to know here is that the sheriff has currently said that there's no evidence that Zinn was actually working with the shooter in any way. Apparently, this guy's like well known among organizers of public events in Salt Lake City, with, for example, the New York Times reporting he showed up frequently to public forums with the intention to disrupt the event or question a high-profile speaker. But then, going back to the text messages, you reportedly also had the roommate asking why he did it, to which he replied, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." With the suspect then saying that he had been planning to do this for a bit over a week, and that the messages engraved on the casings from the rifle were mostly a big meme. It's saying if I see notices bulge ooh on Fox News, I might have a stroke, and then telling the roommate to delete this exchange before saying that he turned himself in willingly, with his last message saying, "You are all I worry about, love. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent." Right now, what we've seen since that's been said and reported is just so many theories swirling around online, basically claiming that the messages don't sound like a real conversation between 2 young people. Or there are people saying that it just too conveniently lays out everything that authorities need to make a case. You're even seeing some suggesting that the messages were written by the FBI. Though then, at the same time, you have others arguing that the suspect and his roommate might have staged this conversation to provide an alibi for the roommate. There were those in this camp suggesting that the roommate was actually involved or knew about the plan beforehand. And that being tied into the effort that we're seeing from some to use this against the transgender community. Right? And then, in addition to all of that, is the Israel of it all. Because one of the big theories is that Israel is involved or somehow behind Kirk's death. You also had people like longtime friend to Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, at the very least looking to counter the public narratives around Charlie Kirk having the best relationship with Israeli or Jewish leadership.
The truth is that Charlie was under immense pressure and he was facing financial threats over his shifting stance on Israel, over who he was hosting, over on
the old guy takes InfoWars very seriously vibes.
Podcast to people that were on.
Well, dude, yeah, I'm not sure if they reiterated this, but he was with some 9/11 stuff too. Like he was in a bunch of like 9/11, like post 9/11 videos, doing some weird shit.
Stage at America Fest, Dave Smith, Tucker Carlson. That is reality, my friends. Again,
It's weird. They're all pivoting to like literally Dave Smith. They're pivoting to Dave Smith, like the libertarian, because Dave Smith is not a MAGA conservative by any means. I'm going to just go out and say that. He voted for Trump, but even now, like he has gone pretty far against him. And I'm not trying to play devil's advocate for the guy. Trust me.
Those people to know your money means nothing to me. I already said no to it.
And it's really expanded from there. Tucker Carlson saying that Charlie Kirk revealed to him that he really didn't like Bibi Netanyahu.
He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza.
And then also at one point, Tucker talked about the alleged pressure that Kirk was under around Israel before his assassination.
He was dependent to a great extent on his donors, of course. It's a nonprofit. And they went after him and tormented him. Not all, of course. Many were supportive. But the ones who were offended by my speech, and there was a small, very intense group who were, tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died. 2 days before he died, he lost a $2 million donation because he had publicly pledged to bring me to the next Turning Point conference in December. And he told me over the past couple of months that he was losing a lot of donations over that pledge. They put out a flyer basically saying that I was going to be at this event giving a speech. And so he would text me and say, man, I'm really taking a lot of heat for this, and people are really mad. The American Jewish Committee called in a statement Charlie Kirk an anti-Semite and, quote, dangerous. Charlie Kirk, an anti-Semite. He was not an anti-Semite.
Though then at the same time, you had people like Senator Ted Cruz tweeting, I'm getting really tired of Tucker and his cronies falsely claiming Charlie agreed with me that Israel is terrible and the problem in America is all the damn Jews, saying I knew Charlie well, and indeed the very last conversation we had was how deeply concerned he was about the rising toxic wave of anti-Semitism on the right. But that is also just a small taste of what's been happening on that front. So at the same time, while that appears to have been happening organically, you're also seeing reports that pro-Iranian groups have been pushing the conspiracy as well, with a number of people saying this is just one of the ways that foreign powers maybe spreading disinformation about Kirk's killing in order to sow even further division in the United States. Right? And that is also, we're seeing reports that Russian groups are actually trying to tie Kirk's death to U.S. support for Ukraine, with some even spreading the lie that...
Again, this goes back to like what I was saying about like Kash Patel, how he slipped up saying foreign intelligence too, where it's like, wait a minute. Why are we just letting that one slip?
Ukrainian government killed Kirk because of his criticism of that aid. But again, a lot of this isn't about the creation of, it's the amplification of. Right? You've got people out there like a senior research manager at the Institute for Strategic Dialogue noting that in many cases, the campaigns, they're not adding new claims, but they're recycling ones that just emerge naturally from American users. It's saying they're picking up domestic actors and amplifying them, which then with that, I'll say brings us to another aspect of the situation, and that is a lot of people are talking about what this means about social media in general on multiple levels. Right? Because for one, the suspect's been described as someone that's chronically online, which is something that describes a lot of people nowadays, especially young people. And it's also come to describe a growing number of people who have committed violent acts in the US, with, for example, The Guardian reporting that, quote, in recent years, a growing number of shooters have left behind writings, whether full manifestos or single sentence posts online that contain nihilistic in-jokes and references that aim to differentiate their extremely online cohort from the normies who will struggle to understand them. And with that, you had them pointing to perpetrators of mass shootings in Texas, New York, California, and even New Zealand, just to name a few. And then connected to that, there's also the fact that conspiracy theories and divisive content are actually being pushed into social media feeds by design, because that's one of the big kinds of content that keeps people on the platforms.
Yep. I brought this up about that local feed that I was talking about yesterday, where I noticed that it was just all MAGA shit to stir the pot, and then they were leaving up my stuff just long enough to stir the pot, but then I think they have like a MAGA swing there, so they're also just like, whoa. Too Libby. Another Charlie Kirk post.
For longer periods of time, which is also something you saw Utah
That's cool.
Governor Spencer Cox pointing out a few days ago. It's like the most powerful companies in the history of the world have figured out how to hack our brains, get us addicted to outrage, and get us to hate each other. And also, I'll say regarding Governor Cox, he has kind of stood out for a number of reasons, but especially because he's someone that on the Republican side has not joined the chorus of people who have just blamed the entire left. And that has resulted in things like Obama praising Cox for his handling of the situation, though at the same time, Steve Bannon has called Cox a national embarrassment and even said he should be investigated. And then all of that.
What the fuck is with these people?
Of
Oh,
course,
we
is
should
Donald
investigate
Trump,
this
members
guy.
of his
He's not
administration, and many
doing
Republican
things
lawmakers
how
have just
I
kept
would.
turning
Investigate
up the temperature. Right, continuing to insist that political violence and the rhetoric fueling it is just a problem on one side, with Senator Eric Schmidt, for example, saying yesterday.
We've heard years of the left, their loudest voices calling anyone on the right extremist MAGA Republicans, fascists, Nazis, an existential threat.
They called us many names.
To democracy. Check yourself. And don't give me this both sides bullshit.
And with this, I'll start by saying Schmidt is not lying when he says that people, including prominent Democrats, have used this type of language before. Though notably, one, there are experts on democracy and fascism who have said that language isn't without reason. And even J.D. Vance once compared Trump to Hitler. But also separately from that, Trump literally called Kamala Harris fascist multiple times on the campaign trail. And there's a long list.
Oh, it's almost like, I don't know, you do these things where you use extreme language and then you're just like, look at the other side fighting back. How dare you fight back? This is literally cry bully shit.
List of violent remarks that Trump has made.
This is like definitively cry bully shit.
Including, for example, suggesting that General Mark Milley should be executed. Right? And the point of all that isn't to just keep playing the blame game and say, hey, it's all the Republicans' fault, but just to be very clear about the hypocrisy of what people like this are saying. Right? And that is also true if you're just looking at randos on social media. You can find people saying outrageous shit in every unique flavor you can think of. But then also, of course, when it comes to actual political violence that has taken place, we should look at the data. Because The Economist, for example, pointed to an analysis of felony criminal cases involving political violence done by researchers at the University of Cincinnati. And what you see there is that extremists on both the left and right commit violence, but more incidents appear to come from right-leaning attackers. Also, another study looking at political violence between 1990 and 2020 found that there were far more frequent deadly attacks by the hard right than the hard left, although left-wing violence increased throughout the study period. You also had the Anti-Defamation League finding that from 2010 to 2019, 76% of extremist-related murders were committed by those on the right. Also, the Cato Institute found that over the last 5 years, 81 people have been killed by political violence in the United States, and right-wing terrorists account for over half of them. And the Center for Strategic and International Studies analyzed almost 1,000 terrorist plots between 1994 and 2020, and they concluded right-wing attacks and plots account for the majority of all terrorist incidents in the United States since 1994. Though also,
again, but it's also like we have eyes and ears, and there's just all these years, it's just been a bunch of these, again, gun-toting fucking motherfucker, whoop, boop, boop, boop. And now when the left starts buying guns, they're just like, we can't have that.
Oh, as we're talking,
it's that simple, guys. Like, think about it.
About data and studies, we should know that after Kirk's...
Because every time that there's a right-wing extremist attack, they're just like, nah, you know what? His ideology didn't have much to do with it.
Murder. The Justice Department actually...
He was just crazy.
...removed a government study based on 3 decades of research, which also found that far-right extremists have killed far more Americans than any other domestic terrorist group.
Thank you.
But of course, none of that it means that Trump's going to actually back down on his vow to punish the so-called radical left, which really, the more that he talks, just sounds like anyone on the left that does not like him. And with that, we're seeing his teams reportedly crafting an executive order nominally aimed at combating political violence and hate speech that could come
constantly
as soon as this
demonizing and saying that, the radical left, they need to be locked up. Hold on. I'm doing my press conference. I got to put my hair on. Hold on. The radical left, like pep talks, we need to go after the pep talks. Pep talks is one of the most radical leftists that is out there on the radical lefty lefts. He's such a meanie bobini. He said some really mean things about me. We need to go after him. His YouTube page it doesn't even have that much traction. Look at him. He's just a tiny little YouTuber, but you know what? He hurt my feelings. Let's go after him.
week. Right? And so we're going to have to wait to see what that actually looks like. Though one thing we know is that they're talking about targeting tax-exempt statuses of nonprofits, right? And possibly
Actually, I almost hit a little too close.
by designating them as
like,
domestic
ew.
terrorist organizations. And also with this, I'll say you had Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche saying yesterday that even people noisily protesting Trump could face investigation if, quote, it's part of an
There we go. There we go. It's literally, he said many things I'm coming after.
Organized effort to inflict harm and terror and damage the United States. Right, with that being part of a defense of Trump's comments earlier in the week that Attorney General Pam Bondi should prosecute people who loudly protested outside of a restaurant where he had dinner last week. Right, and with that, you also had Blanche trying to do some damage control on Bondi's comments about prosecuting hate speech, which she herself had to try to walk back. And she said, oh, I'm only talking about speech promoting violence, even though initially that's not really what it sounded like she was talking about. But in any case, a key thing that Trump said that he asked Pam to do is to look into prosecuting those protesters by bringing RICO cases against them. And that's something that he's been talking about a lot lately. I mean, he's called for a RICO investigation of George Soros without providing any evidence of wrongdoing. He's suggested it might be one of his ways of going after the left-wing groups that he's blaming for Kirk's death. For those that don't know, RICO, it's the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. It basically allows prosecutors to charge everyone in a criminal organization, even if certain individuals weren't directly involved in the crime. But it's a decades-old law that's been used against the mob. And notably, Ted Cruz is already pushing a bill that would expand the law's powers, mainly by adding rioting to the list of offenses that could be used to bring a case. Right? And that would potentially enable federal prosecutors to seek charges against and seize the assets of organizations and individuals who fund or coordinate protests that result in violence. So separate from the legality of this, you have experts saying that, even if they don't win, the intimidation, the legal costs, it all has an impact. So, this is definitely something we're going to have to keep our eyes on because it does appear to be part of a concerted effort to crack down. But then in a quick 1 minute.
Cool. I love that he'll at least cap off the segment. So it's just like, cool, got what I wanted to watch out of that. Is the music working? There it goes. Alrighty. I mean, we got a little bit of the Candace Owens from that, so that's just enough I needed. Or just enough of what I needed. Got this Bassem Youssef thing here. I just realized I have got to eat something. I need a little snack. Let's see. Shapiro speaks out after York County incident, Pennsylvania. Wait, what happened in York County?
Took time to tell us how proud they were, how proud they are
Tragic day
of their loved ones who put on a uniform to keep us safe. It's an extraordinary thing that these law enforcement families do. They support the individual who puts on the uniform and runs toward danger.
Police incident in North Cordes.
They're there for them when they leave in the morning, and they pray throughout the day that they will come home at night. So I hope as this community comes together, as I know it knows how to do, and prays, that we think not just about those who wear the uniform, but those who stand behind and next to those who wear the uniform every day.
Hey, stop talking like Obama.
These families are extraordinary, and I hope you'll join me in prayer for them. I had some time to spend with the law enforcement who are gathered here today, who ran here because they knew that their brothers in uniform were in danger.
Officer shot in York County, PA.
Short.
There we go.
And I'll just share with you what I told them. The entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania respects them.
Suspect is dead.
And we have their backs. And we so appreciate the work that they do every single day when they go out to keep us safe, when they go out to protect our freedoms and our rights. This is something that, sadly, we only tend to share in times of tragedy. I think it is important that this Commonwealth knows that every day we appreciate those who put on the uniform.
Okay.
Spend with the law enforcement.
Well, it's Steve. He's watching the same thing.
Who ran here because they knew that their brothers in uniform were in danger, or their lives were cut short.
All right. Go figure. If you guys don't know, I watch Agenda Free whenever there's like a big news situation going on. Get his hot takes. Steve and Tim Pepper would be besties. They really would. Steve. He's such a he's an interesting fella. I gotta say that much. Oh man. What is going on here? The fuck am I being recommended? Jimmy Dore. What?
Let's get to Tucker Carlson, Ryan, who did a stream just last night with some other prominent friends of Charlie Kirk's, remembering Charlie Kirk, and of course then getting into some of the controversial questions about whether or not Kirk was moving on the question of foreign policy towards Israel in the days and weeks before his death. So let's roll this video of Tucker Carlson, A6.
I don't think I've ever seen anything lower than his attempt to hijack Charlie's memory and use it for his own political ends, particularly because what he said was completely untrue. Charlie didn't hate Jews. He loved Jews. He had tons of friends who were Jews.
Oh, man.
He loved this.
Dude. Okay, so this fissure in MAGA is real. Like, this is a big one.
There. He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said it to people around him many times.
I'll be honest, I didn't see this one coming. I didn't see a shift on like Gaza happening, and then all of a sudden there's this like actual like big media fissure, and I guess this one would be a cultural fissure between MAGA and MAGA.
He felt that Bibi
This isn't even like MAGA
was
Republican
a
right,
very
or
destructive force.
Yeah, Republican
He
light.
was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was above all resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it.
So the if you're not like super hyper online, you may have missed some of the context about the Ackman saga, but this is becoming a really significant.
I mean, I consider myself kind of hyper online, and I didn't know about this Ackman saga.
Significant subplot in the broader conversation.
And this is, that was a big thing. Like, I kind of understand now why people were all of a sudden kind of, all of a sudden, like, yeah, he was criticizing Israel, and it's kind of interesting, huh?
Conversation about what happened to.
And then all of these inconsistencies with like the way that the investigation went, and then these text messages.
Charlie Kirk, Bill
Ackman, things
and
are
others
getting a little sus.
allegedly convened what's now being billed as sort of an intervention for Charlie Kirk in the Hamptons in early August. And Ackman and others who were there have rejected the characterization of it as an intervention. It was sort of billed as an influencer summit for people on the right, and apparently they talked about Israel as part of their conversations in the Hamptons. But Tucker Carlson, Matt Gaetz, Candace Owens, and others
Smith last night.
Are coming out and saying that Charlie did express to.
The thing we need to keep in mind is that they're all using CK's death to shoehorn whatever they already believe into the conversation. They can project whatever opinion they want onto a dead guy. Yeah.
He was private.
Well, kinda. Because the problem is there's a lot of footage out there that he kind of, I hate to say, gifted to us, where if they do try to play that game, that's like,
And he talked about this publicly too, so it's not exactly surprising. But privately had expressed he was under pretty significant pressure from the pro-Israel side to not give a platform to people like Dave Smith, who were critical of Israel. In fact, actually, Charlie had Sagar on. People probably remember I believe it was back in July, late July, so before this influence.
Is that supposed to be like a whoa, crossing the aisle, Sagar? No way.
Summit to talk about Epstein documents, a potential Israel connection to Epstein documents, and that really was upsetting.
Wait, does Emily think that Sagar's more left?
And have
Many
Sagar
people.
on after Sagar was on Tucker is even more infuriating.
Yes, extra.
Right, to the Ackmans
Right.
of the world, and had Ackman at his conference.
And
I mean, it had Tucker at his conference trashing Ackman.
You pointed out, as we were prepping this segment, an interesting bit of the timeline.
Yeah, so if you want to actually try to get a sense of what went down at this meeting / intervention, whatever you want to call it.
It's not white.
Understand this.
I was going to give Emily more credit than that.
The dates
should I not?
Are August 4th and August 5th, and it was held in the Hamptons. If you watch this show, you have probably seen the viral clip of
Crystal needs to give Emily advice on how not to dress like a grandma.
Charlie Kirk on Megyn Kelly's program, really lashing out at people who are coming after him, saying, "Stop telling me what I can say and I can't say about my own government. Who do you think you are? How dare you attack my moral character?" You've seen this clip probably. If you haven't, you can go find it. You can look up when that appearance was. That was August 6th. And he is heated in that clip.
This